When the hunger wakes me, I live to feed. With the darkness surrounds me, shape-shifting in the night, stalking you. Does my face seem familiar? Does my body feel you more? Will I change you or will it end you? And the power that I have could give you eternal life. Death doesn't know me. I've become eternal. When the hunger wakes me, I live to feed. With the darkness surrounds me, where the mist, she follows me. I walk alone in the night, watching you, following you, leading on you through the night. When the hunger wakes me, I live to feed. With the darkness surrounds me. Oh, your life, I was still. I've become the living dead. I own the darkness and know what beats inside of me. I've become eternal. When the hunger wakes me, I live to feed. With the darkness surrounds me.
A dreaded flag, a vengeful sea. Be careful what you say. There's always someone listening. The Dutchman tossed on the sea. I swore and the devil heard me. Now we're doomed to sail the seven seas for eternity. So yo-ho, let the ocean winds blow. The line forever we must hold. We sail through them, cursed and condemned. Yo-ho, let the ocean winds blow. A sinister grin across his face said, you'll be doomed to this place. The devil heard my oath, shame of my boast. Oh, a ghostly ship from the depths, freedom from fear is the only gift of death. Yo-ho, let the ocean winds blow. The line forever we must hold. ocean winds blow. If you cast your eyes, you'll join us like those before. We're an omen of the ocean night. When you see the flying Dutchman, it's too late for your soul. To the waters we gave now our breath. Yo-ho, let the ocean winds blow. The line forever we must flow. We sail through them, cursed and condemned. Yo-ho, let the ocean winds blow. Yo-ho, let the ocean winds blow. The line forever we must flow. We sail through them, cursed and condemned. Yo-ho, let the ocean wind blow.
All right, folks. Welcome to Paranormal Roundtable. Let's see who we got in the chat tonight. Be sure and check out Paranormal Soundtable. That's the music that Nellie does. And yeah, it's she writes it herself. Okay. It's not AI. People trying to say it's AI. We don't do AI. The only AI we do is for the thumbnails, for the whatever. We're fully transparent here. We don't play around or whatever. I will say this. I got on a scale today before the jokes start. And no, I didn't break it. No, I got on the scale and I have lost 37 pounds in the last 2.5 months. It's a little over 2 months, not quite 2.5, about two months and a week. So 37 pounds. I was glad. My wife was like, I don't see it. I don't see it. I was like, you don't see my head getting bigger and my body getting smaller. So I got on the scale and I was like, look, because there's all these people who think that I'm there's something wrong with this ring here. Oh, it's scuffed. Oh, maybe I'm just seeing things. I don't know. Yeah, but so I'm happy about that. I'm doing good. I've been actually like being not eating a whole lot. Not really. I always try to eat healthy, but I'm really doing it. I haven't even been doing it on purpose because when I've been in so much pain with the gout and with the kidney stone, I just got to where I didn't want to eat, and I was like, I told my wife, I said, this is a good way for me to lose weight. Just don't eat because you're in too much pain. So the good thing, I mean, that's the good thing, right? That comes out of having all this health problems. So then I got sick as I was coming off of getting over the kidney stone, which I think I'm still battling it, but it's going away because of the stuff that I'm taking. But I got sick, and the last 2 days I have had vertigo, super, super bad. Just so I'm still a little bit, and I don't know what it is. I got like for kind of not flu-like symptoms, but it was me and Nellie and my brother and Anthony and all of us, Tony, everybody got it and had this, like whatever it was, I don't know. It just, and it was like a cold with like this really bad malaise. Like you just didn't want to do anything. And then the last 2 days I've been sitting around just being, dizzy, disoriented, and having vertigo. But today I woke up and I still had it a little bit. I was still a little sick, but I'm like, you know what? I feel good. I mean, I went to the toilet and I vomited up black goo. It went everywhere. It was horrible. It's all part of my karma, folks. Okay, remember, I'm a bad guy. They gotta curse me for Christmas because I'm a bad guy. Scrooge McDuck. But yeah, that's the good thing. I'm happy about that. The Ike virus. He's got a new high priestess, folks, and she's been putting in a lot of work, man. He's got a new one. It's replaced Janice. So she's his minister of propaganda, and she is on fire, boy. She's out there like Goebbels making speeches. Are we going to allow this man to be in our community? In his own words, he has denied his Lord and Savior. I'm like, wow, because none of that happened.
High priestess, as in high BMI priestess.
Yeah, she's definitely got that. But anyway, folks, you gotta really be. You don't have to like these people, but you need to pray for them. All these people, and there's people like that in your life too. I know you got them. They really are envious of you. Okay, they watch everything you do. We don't watch them. We don't pay attention to what they do. We don't care. People feel it. Like they feel the need to be nice and send me the information or whatever. Cool. I mean, great. I mean, I think appreciate you looking out for me, but just another day at the office for these people. They don't work. If you don't work, me and Anthony were talking about this the other day. Think of all the things we could do. We were talking about buying a boat. Remember, we were like, we have a boat. And I'd be like, yeah, but if we don't work, we wouldn't have the money to buy the boat.
Yeah.
And then Anthony's like, yeah, you're right. Then the insurance. So we were talking about buying a boat and just going out fishing all the time. And then I thought, so we kind of hypothetically, we were spitballing, me, him, and Tony and my brother. And my brother's like, well, what if we just all didn't work? What would, and so right then Scorpion brought us back to reality. He calls and he's like, hey, I need $200. I'm like, oh, shoot. Well, we're not working. So how am I going to pay you anything? And so we all just kind of came to the conclusion that, no, we got to work. You got to work, because then you'll end up like one of these people whose whole life is the worship of hatred of a person. They're literally worshiping hate is what they're doing. They are worshiping. And I'm not joking. When you obsess on something and you focus on something, you're worshiping that. What you're doing is a form of idolatry. Even if you're hatingly obsessing on someone, you're worshiping that. I'm guilty of it too. Like I've done that before. Like I've stopped and thought, is all this anger and hatred really, hating the 49ers, hating the Green Bay Packers, hating the Philadelphia Eagles? Because the Cowboys got a lot of enemies because, they were a successful franchise for 40 years. So, I mean, they won a lot of games. They had won more games than anybody. They had won more playoff games. The only team that had won more games than them was the Dolphins. That's because in the 70s, they were just, they won all the time when they had Shula. And then they were a machine in the 80s. They just couldn't win the Super Bowl. But I'm not going to get into a whole. But, other than the Cowboys, that was it. There was nobody who'd won as many games. They only had playoff games. And they have AFC teams that aren't even in their conference that hate them, like the Bills and the Steelers. You don't think that you kick someone's ass in the Super Bowl or the NFC Championship, especially multiple times, they're not going to like you. Mm-hmm. They're going to remember that shit. You're going to have to look over your shoulder. That's what happened to the Cowboys. There's so many teams that look at them as a rival. The Longhorns are the same way. There's a lot of them that look at them as rivals. There's only really for Oklahoma, it's just Texas and Oklahoma State. They don't have to worry about anybody else because nobody cares about them one way or the other. I mean, really. Mm-hmm. Arkansas and us, we weren't even playing each other anymore. And when they looked and they voted on their top 3 rivals, we were like number 1. And I'm like, wow, we don't even play you. I mean, they used to have some hellified games back in the day in the Southwest Conference. My uncles were telling me it was like a big deal. Arkansas and Texas were always vying for the titles. But I barely remember that shit. I was a kid. And so now, but their alumni, they hate Texas. I mean, they absolutely hate Texas. So you have all these rivals and they look at you as a rival, but you don't look at them as a rival. Like those channels, they're not our competition. They're not. I mean, you're not in competition with me. If I'm on and you're on, well, guess what? I mean, nature is going to take its course. You have good and not good, and they're not good at anything they're doing. If you were good at what you were doing, you would stand on your own merits and your own productivity, and it would stand as a testament to you and your channel. But when you turn it into the Josh Turner hour, nobody wants to tune in to hear that shit. Now, even if they are a devout hater of me in a PRT, You don't think they're going to want to tune in and hear somebody talking about something else for a change besides this dude? Because I mean, like, if you're just obsessing on a guy, people are going to tune in and be like, dude, who is this guy? Like, you know, and then they're going to come over here and look. You know how many people have they've brought to us? A lot. Like a whole lot of people have come thinking that some of them even admitted. Remember that Jeremy guy?
Yeah.
He was gonna troll us. Now he's a donator of the show. He donates to the PayPal. He was like, I thought you guys were complete ass.
The cream rises to the top.
So what ends up happening? These people, they're inadvertently like sending us potential listeners. I'm not asking them to go on the attack, and they said that they're defending against our attacks. I don't have time to comb my hair half the time. Okay, I don't have time to go and make attacks. Okay, what is your definition of an attack? Because all I do is repost what the hell you say. If you call that attack, well, you got, I don't know what the hell you're doing. I mean, they act like it's some kind of heavyweight bout, like it's Usyk and Fury over there.
Yeah,
it's not. I'm not punching down on you. I promise you, I don't attack you. If people are attacking you, they have nothing to do with me. I'm not sending people to attack you. I've been accused of hacking them into the dark web through Al Qaeda, which
it's a pretty neat trick.
I wish I had those kind of capabilities. It would be so awesome to be able to call those cave fuckers and just, excuse me, I shouldn't have said that, but they'd be like, hey, I need a hit on Durka Street. Hey, whoa. Hey. We had a deal. You hack into these former Christians and destroy them. I want the plans to the rebel base. I'm joking. That was a joke. No, they're not. No, you're the rebel. I get it. Yes, you're the rebel. I'm not against you. We're on the same team here. We hate the same people. We hate Christians together. Yeah. Oh, no. I don't. No. That's them saying that I hate Indians. I don't know. Oh, you want me to hire one to do my tech? I already did. I did that. Yeah. Can you go ahead and make the hit though? Because I need them blown up like yesterday. Olak Duhar. Thank you. There we go. And this is actually absolutely a real satellite phone. They make them so unique now. And it's not for listening, it's just for looking through. But yeah, that's what you do. So then you call, and then, Akbar, he goes to Durka Street, and he takes him out. Mm-hmm. He's like, blah, boom, 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 go boom. That's what he does. You think I'm joking? You think straight up with Al-Qaeda. Straight up with what were the other ones called? The Taliban.
Oh, the Taliban.
They're like, the Taliban doesn't want you to have freedom. They hate you because you listen to radio and wear pants. You wear those blue jeans. Those blue jeans you wear. And you go to the Burger King. He is not the king of burgers. No one is.
Only Allah is king.
Only Allah. No one else.
Allah is king of burgers.
I will destroy you, pork-eating pieces of shit. And then they're just like, hey. He's anti-Semitic. I can't win for losing, dude. So this guy sends me this rant the other day, and he's like, I could tell you're one of those Jewish people from Israel. You're undercover and blah, blah, blah. He says my nose gave it away. And I'm like, what are these people? They're talking crazy. So it's either I hate them, and then I make fun of people. Well, yeah, I mean, if you're gonna invite it to yourself, well, yeah, I'm going to make fun of you. I mean, that's just going to happen, because these people they're insane. They were on the Insanoflex. You know what that is? No, go look it up. But not right now. We got a show to do. And, I'm not trying to like pick out different people because that's, but what are you going to call me now? What? First, I'm an Islamic apologist. Then I was told that I'm Islamophobic. Mm-hmm. So I got a big old thing about that. And then I was anti-Semitic, which they don't realize that Jews and Arabs are both Semites.
Yeah.
So apparently
I couldn't tell you what a Semite is if you asked them.
They don't know. And then they say that you're a communist, you're a And then they call me a Nazi. So, those two are completely on different pages, right? If you're one, you're really not the other. You can't be both. So, dear, please pick a lane for me. Your hatred. Oh, and then this, the little transphobic whatever thing. Look, all I'm saying is there's two genders. That's what is wrong with that? Why am I being attacked for that? You want me to coddle you and hold your hand and tell you that you could hop around and pretend to be a donkey? So we're going to call you a donkey? Pin the tail on the jackass for real? Then you're a piñata. How about that? I identify as an 8-year-old child with a stick. Okay, since you identify as a piñata. I don't understand these people. I don't get it. And what do you want? They want me to lie. First of all, I'm not going to. You want me to apologize for things that you did or that you started and publicly make an ass of myself. So, or you're going to continue with your attacks. So really and truly, who is the terrorist here? We're an established channel. We do what we do, and you're constantly on the attack. Well, you're the aggressor, and then you're trying to make demands for me. One of their demands from me was that I publicly apologize to these people and admit that I am at fault for all of it. That would be a lie. And then after I submit to you this, then they'll talk about stopping the attacks. So you're basically
about stopping.
Yeah. So you're an extortionist. You're committing extortion. You threaten me with this continued attacks if I don't, So how does that work? Are you a gang? I mean, that's what gangs do. And folks, make no mistake, they've even discussed getting rid of me in other ways too. It's disgusting what they've been doing and saying. But, I'm not going to live my life in fear. There's people that are like worried for me, telling me, be careful, don't go here, don't do that, blah, blah, blah. I can't. What am I supposed to do? We don't live our lives based on what they do. What they do and what we do is we are a reaction. If you do something, you say something, we're going to take it and we're going to post what you said because we've intercepted it. And there's a lot of stuff we don't post because I don't want to bombard people with the bullshit. I'm just like, but this last round of attacks, I don't know. It's definitely coordinated because they all did it together. And then they keep talking about conspiracy. Their Lord and Master up there in Oklahoma is telling them that there's a conspiracy, that we're all going to jail. Stop lying, dude. You're a big liar. You're a big liar. You're watching me right now and you're a liar.
Don't be late for your court date.
There's no conspiracy here.
You don't want to piss off Judge Lander.
How does your old high priestess, how does she feel about being kicked to the curb, even though she lied for you in every way? This other one's doing it too. But they lie for you. They'll say and do anything. Never asked anyone to lie for me, ever. Nobody can come and say, oh, that guy told me to lie for him. Let's make up some stuff. No. Never happened. Go and cut this into little clips and try to make it out like you did with the engine thing and got a lot of traction out of that, saying that I was doing a skit pretending to be Ike, going like, oh, you better watch it. There's a lot of engines out here. And they took that little clip and they turned it into me calling him an engine. Sir, you're not an engine. You're not an Indian. You're not an engine. You're not anything. You're not Native American, dude. So stop lying. You have 152nd blood in you. So to me, you're just a fat, doughy white boy. I don't understand what you're talking about. How you can say you're not. Why would I call you an Indian? You're not. I'm a quarter, so I'm more than you. So how is it that you're an Indian? I don't understand that. And I've talked to other natives too, who they don't recognize you as being native. Nobody knows you. The tribe you claim. Where are you from? He was from the Fagawi tribe. They got lost and wandered around. They were like, "We're the Fagawi." That's the tribe you were from, because that's the only thing I can think of. Because nobody knows you. I wish I had a card. It says I'm 152nd, whatever, Heinz 57, and they give you money. What a screwed up state that is. It's unbelievable. But whatever, you know. Congratulations on your bless you. Congratulations on your new female Goebbels. She's been hard at work. It's been crazy. If she would work that hard on losing weight, she'd be healthy. And then if she worked that hard on doing good for the community instead of making up slander as libel, there's a lot you could do. Try to get 300 in here, folks. Remember, let's talk about something else. These people are dumb enough on their own. I don't want to help them bringing them up. Thank you for that, Bad Boy Channel. Those are the gifts. He gifted memberships. If your name is in green at different points in time in the show, we're going to do it different points in time in the show. We're going to do a giveaway, okay, for T-shirts. And, just if you get picked, please email me your name, your address, and your shirt size. Otherwise, we can't send you your stuff. So let's please do that. My hair, look at this, man. What is going on with this? It looks like a cabbage, a big cabbage, man. Cabbage patch. And see, there's the thing right there. I don't care. Like, I'll make fun of myself. I mean, these people are like, oh, we make fun of him, and it's really eating at his soul. Don't really care, man. It does it because I'm going to make fun regardless. I don't care. I have fun up here. I don't want to make you too mad because y'all talking about killing me now, so maybe I should stop. But everybody knows, though, if something happens, you'll be the first people they look at. Somebody says here, Karen Eaton says, I have not gotten my shirt. Karen, did you send us your information? If you did, she says, I still have not gotten my shirt. Okay, Karen, do me a favor. Send me your email address and your
your mailing address.
Mailing address. Sorry, email me your mailing address and your shirt size. Okay, so we can get that to you. And I'm sorry that you didn't get it because there's several people who have not given us their information because I've counted how many people have won, and there's 4 or 5 of you out there still who have not given us their information. She says I emailed twice. Okay, what is your handle?
Let me see if I can find it.
So,
okay, I got it right here. Okay.
We got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got you, Karen.
So then we got you. All right. When did you win? Because we still have not mailed off over the last week. The last time we mailed off was the beginning of last week. So it's been almost 2 weeks. So it'll be the beginning of this. Well, no, because it'll have to be the day after Christmas. We'll have to do the mailing. And the mail is moving slow right now because of the Christmas holiday. Two weeks ago, that's probably about right. So I don't think we've mailed off yet. So we're almost to 300. We have some stuff we want to talk about tonight, and I think it's important. I mean, I think it's a piece of the puzzle at the very least. Back when I was working on this other show, right? Me and the host started to come across a trend, a pattern. And it's something that the late Linda Godfrey ultimately said too. And I took it to heart, and it is interesting. I've discussed it with David Weatherly. I've discussed it with Lyle Blackburn, a few other people in this field. I've discussed it with Jody Cook and Nick Valenti. But why? Why do we get so many reports in the months of October through December? In particular, Dogman, it seems like December is like, why is there such a, I mean, there is an undeniable spike in the numbers of reports that are reported in December. Now, I remember when we really were starting to get into this, and we had these two camps. There was like one, I was kind of in the middle at that time. I really didn't have it. I played ball, I just was like, whatever. There was a lot of fighting going on at that time, and I was in the middle. I was not choosing a camp. I did not want to say, hey, this thing is flesh and blood completely, because there were too many things were being brought to my attention to ignore and say, well, this is just a physical, animalistic creature. We're just going to start with Dogman. This isn't where we're going to end up. We're going to be all over the place. Okay. But when you start to look at this, and everybody's always talking about data, there really is no data. That's bullshit. Okay. What you have are a whole lot of witnesses. It's just the truth. You have pictures, but none of those pictures were very good. Now, I have to say this, and we talked about it at the first conference. I had a picture, and I'm telling you the truth, it disappeared. There were seven of us altogether. There were a couple others that claimed that they had it, but I can't prove it one way or the other. And I think that was part of the problem too, was I think they were involved in the removing of it, but they were claiming that they were in the beginning of, no, they weren't. What is Alto talking about? No audio.
Ignore that. It's working fine. There's something on his end.
So what ended up happening is, there was this like conflict that happened. And these guys that were believing in this 100% physical, being, I noticed that they were kind of punching and bullying the people who were talking about it being spiritual. And I was kind of asked, and it wasn't kind of, people kept giving me the encounters saying, look at what's happening here. And I was kind of being stubborn and sitting back and acting like I was going along with the crowd. Let's put it that way. I'll be honest. I was. There's no two ways about it. I was just being like, well, I don't want to be involved. I don't want to fight, because these people they were bullies, and they were in groups, and they were just attacking anybody who, especially if you were a Christian, and if you were a female in particular, and you're a Dogman witness who said that it was anything other than an animalistic evolutionary being, you got lambasted by these people. Now, the remnants of this little group is they're latched onto this other cabal that's having, their meltdowns. And you're going like, how does that work? Because those people are fundamentalist Christians. At least they say they are. I don't really know that. I don't see them really being Christians. I think they're full of crap. But they hide behind the guise of being Christians, because if you're a real Christian, you'd really want to know the truth. But they don't want to know the truth. They want to hang on to whatever and have this little clique, that's built, that centers on hatred. Christ didn't teach us hatred. No. But then you have the fringe, this little culty, sciencey group. One of them showed up one day on Abe's channel and started he was at the conference, and he likes one of the authors that I was formerly, working with, but they couldn't be further apart when it comes to their beliefs. The only thing they really have in common is that they hate me. But you got to understand something. Those people were the original antagonists in this field, because the last straw for me was I was in a group called Dogman X. And I watched them just tear apart anybody and everybody who had a differing opinion than them. And these people eventually got sick of it, and they started dropping out. And I was asked to help build that group, and I told them no. And in fact, when they started pushing me, I left the group. And when I told the people, hey, I'm leaving this group, whatever, because they were trying to bully me. And I didn't accept it, no. And I fought back. And they were some pretty nasty people, but now there's still a couple of them, the base of what's left of those guys. They've teamed up with these other yahoos. And so their brand of BS isn't going to die. It's not going to die willingly. They're not going to let it die. They believe that these things are like an animal. But I'm telling you 100%, that is not true. These things are anything but an animal. They are demonic. And I don't care what anybody says. And these so-called Christians that are joining forces with them, do you realize that is not your ally? Because they want people to believe in evolution in a way that they believe in evolution, which is godless, completely godless. So they came at me, they got bitch slapped. This is what happened. The paratroopers, we always rally around one another, and they couldn't do it. So another wave of goofballs came along, and they tried it, and then another wave, and another wave, and it just keeps going because you don't take their shit, you don't believe like them, and you don't allow them to set the tone. I have had to turn my back on a lot of people and a lot of theories and things because it's just not sustainable. It's not correct. If you want me to believe that this is a dire wolf that learned to stand up on its hind legs and walk around, and then they even came up with some of the most ludicrous theories. They said, oh, it's been proven. Yeah, there was a guy whose uncle's best friend's, dad's babysitter who's babysat dogs. He claimed that one time his great uncle's great aunt's uncle's friend's best friend's neighbor's, housekeeper. It was bad. It was almost that bad. That he had studied the dire wolf and found out that evolutionarily it stands up and walks around. And also smokes a cigar and says, "Hey, see, yeah." That's what it does. We don't know why the dog man walks around going, "Yeah, see, yeah." It just does that because it's a villain. It's a villain. But I believe that is what is going on, is that this mystery phantom man who has discovered the dire wolf has the pelvis region is kind of like, and then it makes a popping noise when it standeth upeth. And they try to talk all, transatlantic. You old prop, you have a problem with me? Probably because I know more about Dogman than you. What do you know about Dogman? Yeah. You know us Romans, we all talk like this. Yeah, see? And you're like, I think you're all full of shit. And they're like, that's a heretic. This man believes in God. But not just any God. The Father of Christ, who everyone knows, despite there being 3 major Roman historians, that he was a fictional character. No different than Scooby-Doo or Bowser. He is mythology. And they actually said shit like that. And I was like, it's Pliny the Younger is just Suetonius, Who are these people? Who are these heretics? I'm like, they're Roman historians.
Or they'll say that it was Cesare Borgia, actually.
And they're like, who are the Romans? What did these Romans ever do for us? Well, the aqueducts. Well, besides the aqueducts. Education, law enforcement. I mean, somebody has to keep it. No, but besides all of that, what have these so-called Romans ever done for us?
Roads?
Well, they gave us roads, our language. Okay, all right. Besides roads, education, the aqueducts, a political system, defense, food, language, civilization. Besides all of that, what have they done? Nothing. And this man, this just Josh Turner, this soft, posh city man, or country bumpkin, depending on which way we want to blow. He believes that this dog man is evil. It is demonic. I say it's no different than your average Doberman. You gotta have the bubble pipe to blow. Like SpongeBob music in the background. Yes. And then they would talk amongst themselves like they were learned scholars. So then they were anti-Bible, so I quoted the Vedas, which they didn't like that. They're like, all religion is bad. We believe in science. Yet our science is so incomplete. You don't even know if it's going to rain tomorrow. You don't even know. Should I carry an umbrella? Because that weatherman's full of shit a lot of times. This area over here, it's going to be kind of, and don't forget about this area right here, and then the woo, and then the ha. Well, is it going to rain here? Go outside and find out. That's what they do. And then you're supposed to go, oh, okay. Let me just shut up and don't ask any more questions. I'm making people uncomfortable. Am I making you uncomfortable? Like to dismiss you. Oh, you may go now. Can I go? Thank you. Thank you, because I needed your permission to leave the room. I left your group because it sucked and you attacked people and you were a bad people. And then you team up with more bad people. That doesn't work. You team up with more bad people. And I became friends with some of those bad people. The first team up didn't work too good. It was Marvin and Bettina, who became two of my best friends in this field. And then you go, oh, we got Abe Cias. Now Abe's my friend. Newsflash, you could be too if you would stop with the bullshit and actually start looking into the real stuff that the rest of us. Because you get people to help you in the beginning, and then they start to go, well, this doesn't seem right. We keep trying to cram this square peg into this round hole, and it's just not working. And then they're like, oh, maybe these other people are correct. Then they're like, he's mesmerizing people. He's a master. He's using his hands. Prestidigitation. Boom, boom. He's the devil. Have you seen that one where they made me look like the devil? And I had the rings, and it was scary, man. Ooh. Cloven hooves. Evil.
Which is some dedication, because these live streams go on for like 3-4 hours.
They watch the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're sitting there watching all of 3.5-4 hours of these live streams just so you can get that perfect little screen cap. Like, you're a fan, you're pretending like you're not. But I mean, like, you're here watching right now with your big fat self eating Cheetos or whatever it is that you eat. Takis, Cheetos, Doritos, Pringles, Little Debbie's. You probably like the cosmic brownies, right? I used to like those. I used to like those when I was a child too, but then I grew up into a man. So, I don't eat that crap no more. But you enjoy your Little Debbie's. All right. So we're going to get back to Wolf now, because I know that's why you're here. You don't want to look at me. You want to look at him so you can get your screen caps. But yeah, enjoy yourself for the next probably 2.5-3 hours while we're here, because you're going to be here with us. So
yeah, and they're going to stick around. So what's going on now is you're starting to see people now. There's kind of a whole new genre that's grown up, and it's grown up around PRT, and I'm proud to say that. And that is Dogman, Bigfoot, all these flying creatures, winged beasts, whatever they are. They are grounded in that realm of what I believe are sort of a metaphysical in-between thing. And that is literally what they are. That's what's happening. And so these people want to continue to push the whole cryptid narrative that it's, and I'm not talking about people like authors. I'm not talking about Ken Gerhard. He's a diehard Bigfoot, aper. What I'm talking about are the people that believe that Dogman is part of that too. And they do. They believe that. I would have an easier time believing that Bigfoot could be in two different categories, but I'm leaning toward all Dogman being of a metaphysical nature at some point in time. Because if you've ever interacted with them, I think you'll see the truth. And if you've done it for a length of time, which I have not, I have not. I did not have multiple encounters. Okay. In fact, something funny happened the other day. We thought I saw a cryptid. We were going down 620 in Round Rock. Anthony, you were with it was me. It was me and Nelly and Anthony. And I said, holy crap, I just saw a hyena.
Yeah.
So I turn around, I bust a U-turn, right? I come around, we're doing our patrol, and everybody's all like, what was it? What was it? So Andy's got this flashlight, you're shining real bright. Nellie's got the flashlight. I was like, it's over there. Then they look, and it's a coyote that's he was scratching his butt. He was sliding himself like he was
Yeah.
you know,
He was scratching his butt across the
like
grass.
to move it. Yeah, he was. I said, see, that's why I thought that. I thought because you see what he's doing, but it did. It kind of looked like a hyena the way he was moving. So there it was, and I was like, well, there's the cryptid right there. Sorry, false alarm. It's an itchy butt coyote. Poor little guy. But luckily he's in town. He's not out there harassing my cows. But you gotta be like, what's going on here? People see these things, though. They do. They see hyenas, and they see them in certain areas. So let's start with that one. We have talked to multiple people who out in West Texas, out in the Permian Basin in particular, have seen what looks to be some sort of like Pleistocene era, I don't know, man. Younger Dryas. I don't know what this is.
Mhm.
The ice age of, these mega fauna, these mega beasts that had really big predators. The cave hyena. It's like 100 pounds heavier than a full grown. These are big animals. Really dense bones. And then we find out that the dire wolf that lived alongside them was not even really a wolf. It was a type of dog. And so the wolves, the gray wolves, they had to evolve alongside these creatures, if you want to call it that. But they've been the same for tens of thousands of years. So there was a guy named Gavin who was literally so scared that he fainted, went unconscious, because he was working out in the Permian Basin. And I'm not going to say exactly where. Let's just say somewhere around Midland, Odessa, that area. And he was on an oil rig. And he was working, and they were outdoors. And it was December. And I think he said it was 3 days before Christmas. So that would have been like, would that be today? Would that be the 20, what is that, 3 days? 23, 24, 25? Be 20.
Today's the 22nd.
So it'd be 3 days. So it'd be like today. Like this. This happened in 2017. And he was walking around out there, and he was going outside. He had to get something like a tool and then out of a storage or whatever. And he sees this hyena. Well, it's not a hyena-like creature. It is a hyena. And it's right there on top of the Falcon storage box. And he looks up, and there was a piece of welding equipment that he was trying to recover. And he sees this beast standing on top of it, looking down at him. And he's like, there was no like standing up like a man, nothing like that. It was just a hyena, a big, large hyena. He said, but this hyena was not like a normal, like you would see like these hyenas, how small they can be compared to a lion. Like he said, this thing looked like it was probably the size of a mountain lion. Or he said twice the size of a mountain lion. That's something he had to compare it to. He said the largest animal that I've seen in the wild was a mountain lion. And he's like, it was near Big Bend National Park, which doesn't surprise me. There's a lot of them out there, a lot. And they're not really that rare out there. But he said that he saw one, and it was a full-grown male, and it was carrying a deer years ago when he was with his girlfriend and her dad on a hike. He said, I look up, and Gavin says, I see it right there. It's right above me. He's like, but it was a straight up hyena. He told us, he was like, I said, did it have, I said, yes, it was spotted. It had the little round ears. It was just like an African hyena sitting up on top of it. And he goes, and it was cold as hell. But he's like, this thing was not perturbed at all. It was just out there. And he said that it was seen throughout that week. Other people had seen it too. But it was being seen in very odd places, like on the second tier platform where they were at. It just walked up the stairs, I guess, and was just kind of wandering around. Every time it was seen throughout that week of Christmas, it was just a hyena. It didn't change into anything abnormal or weird. It was a straight up cryptid, like an African hyena, but way bigger, a humongous animal. And it didn't dematerialize. He said it just kind of looked at him. It didn't growl. It didn't make any kind of threatening gestures. And he goes, I just slowly backed away. He's like, I just, you know what? I went back inside and I told him, hey, dude, see if the camera can pick this up. There's literally a hyena on the Falcon storage box. And they all laughed. He's like, but then a couple days later, and some of the guys that had been off, they came back after Christmas. And because their Christmas vacation ends the next day, after Christmas, and then there's guys that go to have their Christmas and they shift it out. And then there's some that don't come back until the end of the year. So he said we were running kind of on a skeleton crew, and I needed to weld this. And the superintendent was like, look, we have to go out there and do this. He's like, well, you go get whatever it is. I'm not going. And when he went out there, the guy came back in and said, I didn't see anything, but I heard something growling. And he said, that's probably it. So the day after Christmas, he was going home. He was heading back out. And some of the guys that were in the truck behind him, when they pulled over the gas station, they had honked and he didn't know what they were doing. And they got out and they were like, dude, we were trying to call you because we saw the hyena thing you were talking. These guys saw it. Now I told him, I said, this is not the first time that a person has told us that they've seen a hyena looking creature. And we've talked about it on the show. This has come up multiple times, these hyena looking dogmen creatures. And then there's these just straight up hyenas. There's a guy outside of Anson, that saw one just on the side of the road. And I thought that's what we had seen until we went back and realized it was just a coyote that was, scratching his butt. But I tried. Okay. But this guy, he sees this thing. And now here's the question I had. I said, it was on top of the Falcon storage box. I was like, was that box, was there a way to get to the top of it? Was it up against like a cliff wall, or, was there anything around that could have jumped from? He said, no. There wasn't a vehicle next to it. There was nothing next to it that it could have. There was just another Falcon storage box. There were two of them. And he said that he was on top of one of them. And the other one was just, there was no, you could go from one box to the next. How the hell does it get up there?
Yeah.
What are those things, 9 feet tall or something? How hyenas don't jump like that. They're not jumpers, man. I've seen them in the wild. They don't jump. They kind of run, and they'll hop, but they don't leap like that. They're not going to jump up a tree. They're not climbers. So, so you're sitting here, you're going what in the hell are we dealing with? So my brain starts rolling. And then this story was told to me over a year ago. This isn't new. This was last December when I was fielded this report. And I made notes and I put it back in the database. We do, it sounds fancy, but we do actually have a database here. And we have the reports, and we have some that are from the different people, where they came from, different places we got them. Hold on one second. So we have this database. I don't know what you call it. What do we call it? Files, folders, random files, like Nelly's channel. So you go in there and you look, and there's partially fleshed out stories, and it's all, it's organized chaos. Go in there and I look. There it is. I knew I wasn't tripping. I knew that I had a story from a guy that told me straight up, he works out there with a friend of mine. He used to, anyway, didn't work anymore. He's in Colorado now. But these people seeing these hyenas. Now, the interesting thing is there was a job site here in Austin where we had a couple different of the construction workers. We personally didn't see it, but they swore up and down that they saw a creature. Now, these people were from Mexico and Honduras, and they were working here in Austin. And one of them was very adamant that he had seen a strange looking creature. His friend Juan could actually draw very well, and he drew it for us. And we were like, this looks like a hyena. I mean, like these guys are from Mexico, and it's not like they've never seen. They've it's not like they've never seen the what you call it Discovery Channel before. I mean, they've probably seen Discovery Channel. They probably know what a hyena looks like. But I mean, honestly, if you spend your whole life just working, doing construction, and living for the weekend, and just you don't really animals don't interest you. It's not like something you're like, hey, I want to know what this is. You really don't give a crap. You're just kind of like Juan and his friend. Uh, whose name I can't even remember. I just know that the guy Juan was the one that drew the picture, and I've worked with him on 2 different job sites. Subsequently from that one. So you got a guy who draws a picture and says, "This is what this guy saw." The superintendent tells me, and this was a place called Bella Springs. It's not there anymore. And he tells me, he said that, or it was Bella Sarah, Bella Springs, it was one of them two. It was all Tech Ridge years ago. It was years ago. And this guy tells me, he says, "Look, this is what he's seeing." Now, here's the interesting thing about that. I was seeing at that time, the same time this guy was seeing this thing that was a blue dog, what they call a blue dog. I know now what it is. At the time, I didn't. I just thought it was a weird coyote, hyena looking creature, whatever. We had seen it, and I thought it was really rare and weird. And I thought I had seen something amazing until I found out that everybody had seen it. And then me and my wife saw a couple of them that looked a little different than that one. They were 2 different things. The other one, that thing was, the limbs were real skinny. I don't know how to describe it. It was emaciated looking, and it was a female, and it had some babies. I don't want to call them pups because I don't know if that's what they are, cubs or something. I don't know, but it was a canid type being. I think it was just a flesh and blood. If a dog and a coyote and different kinds of animals breed and they breed and they breed, it'll start to make some weird stuff. So I'm thinking that's probably what it was. It did look, the blue dogs seem to look kind of like they're their own species, whatever. But I was leaving the gym with Nellie one night, and it was about 4 years ago. I think it was it was 2019. Yeah. No, nope, I'm wrong. It was 2020. It was right when the pandemic was starting, I believe. And we were coming from the store, probably trying to find toilet paper like everybody else. And I'd gone to the gym, and we went to this store. We pulled into the store, and I believe we were buying something we needed because COVID was coming to kill everyone, whatever. And so we were pulling out, and we see these 2 animals. And so I talked to Nick Redford and Ken Garrett. I called them. I said, "Hey, I saw these things, and they did look a little different than what I had seen back in 2006 or 2008 at that other job site." And they were like, "Oh yeah, that's no big deal. They're just blue dogs." And Ken was like, "Yeah, I was on the way back from Abilene and I saw one." Okay, all right. So wasn't anything amazing, okay. I got a little excited. I thought maybe I had actually seen something, cool. But it is something you don't see every day. But imagine though, if you're working on a job site and people are seeing hyenas. Now, here's the interesting thing. There are people who have seen these hyenas out there in the Permian Basin do things that these people didn't. Now, they didn't see this hyena, it was one, I believe. They didn't do anything unusual or weird or astounding. But there have been people who have seen these creatures do things, like morph partway into a humanoidal type being and grab onto people's cars and tires and trucks, whatever, not cars, but trucks. And you're like, what in the hell is that? Why is this thing? What is it? I mean, because they're looking at it and they're like, it looks kind of like a hyena, but it kind of looks like a person, mixed in with the, whatever. Titan Tiger says, what do you say? I have 2 stories. Send me your encounters and I can retell them for you. Or, you can come on the show. If you insist, you can come on the show and tell them yourself. What is this? Lawrence says, I saw a dog with no hair at all and black eyes, no white at all, come out of the woods, look at me and trot away. It wasn't manged. I've never seen any dog like it before. Since, dude, I'm telling you, there's some weird stuff. So I was talking to the guy that I used to work with on his show, and we were going over some cases, and I said, does it not seem that these actually, you know what? I'm not even going to take credit for that. I think he's told me. I don't believe it was me that told him. But he told me, he's like, there is a large number of cases that come out in December. And I told him, this is what I said. I said, doesn't it seem like between October and December is like, he says, yeah, I think it is. It's like the fall. And you could chalk it up to this. People, even though it's not summer anymore and it's getting colder in some parts of the country, there's still a lot of people moving around doing stuff. Halloween, everybody's out there. You got to get costumes. You got to run around. You got to do all this stuff. More people. Thanksgiving, everybody's traveling. It's one of the heaviest travel days of the year. And then, of course, Christmas, which is just a month-long madhouse of people buying gifts and going to parties and blah, blah, blah. And so people are out, So one of these cases that I'm going to go over, and I'm going to tell you this one, was out of Belton, Texas. And these people don't live in Belton. They live north of there, but they were down there for a function. And this was back in 2010. And they were actually, it's crazy because this couple, they've seen two things in their life, weird things. Get this. Now, I wouldn't believe it if they didn't tell me, if somebody just told me this story, I would have been like, okay, this is a hard one. But these people themselves, they were like, look, straight up, both of them were talking. A woman's name is Wendy. That's all I'll say. Wendy gave me a story, her and her husband. Okay. And what's incredible about it is in 2001, right, they were right outside of Waco. And they see this hyena-looking creature. There's like buzzards flying around like what looks like roadkill, and they see this hyena-looking creature run up and grab one of the buzzards and then take it and shake it and take it down into a ditch and start to, I guess, attack it, whatever. Which you have to be pretty hard up to eat one of them nasty things.
Yeah.
And so I felt really bad for the hyena. I was like, wow. I was like, oh, woo. Nature's garbage disposal, the vulture. It's a nasty animal. But so this thing is being chewed on or whatever. And these people, Wendy and her husband, they were like, whoa. And so they did what we did. She goes, we go down and we turn back around. We exit, we go back, we loop back around. And she's like, and they're west of 35, right? And she's like, I'm driving back, and I was like, it is a hyena. This was 2001, and there was no like good cameras. That phone had Snake on it. Okay, It was a game. It was.
Everybody had Nokia phones.
Nokia, very simple things, little phones, and then they made them so small that they were like, hello, Thank you for that donation, Joe. That's awesome. Somebody donated. See, they're like, oh, he begs for money. I'm always begging for money. I'm over here talking. Don't even know what's going on with that. Okay, donations are not expected, but they are appreciated. I know we need somebody in here to post the stuff. Because I know Maddie's leaving. She's going on a trip, so she can't moderate tonight. Hold on one second, folks. Sailor says, I'll be a moderator. You want to be a moderator? Can you make her a mod?
Where's she at?
Down at the bottom.
Okay.
Because we don't have enough mods. So when you look at this these stories, and I mean, I don't have a choice but to take them at their word. I don't know, but this woman is like, she's now 62 years old. She's got some major health problems. She's like, I got nothing to gain by lying to you, and I don't think she's lying. So thank you for that, Under Fire. Thank you for being a member. So I have an issue with how many times people have seen these creatures. With the people that go out looking for these cryptids, look for these hyenas, man, because they apparently they're all over Texas, man. We've gotten so many reports of these things, but they're all over Texas. Oklahoma too, South Oklahoma. You get a lot of stories about these things. We were in Paul's Valley, and there was a guy there who was telling us all kinds of crazy stories, and one of them was about hyenas. He said, "There's hyenas out here." We were at Lake Texoma in Oklahoma, and people were saying that they had seen. Well, one person said they'd seen a hyena, but oddly enough, they had seen it up near Tulsa. So, I mean, I don't know. I know that a hyena doesn't climb up on and get on top of a Vulcan storage box. I know that. And why are there so many stories and reports in December? I would say that there are more reports in December around Christmas. And get this, and you're going to think we're crazy, but I'm telling you the absolute truth. There are people, and we have picked up several reports of this, and we are going to drop. We're going to drop the next episode on the 24th. Right. So we're going to try on Christmas night. We're going to come back, okay, and we're going to talk about Krampus and Santa Claus because people see both. They really do. I'm not even joking. There are grown adults, and every time I talk to somebody who says that they have seen Santa Claus or something resembling Krampus around the December timeframe, I always make a note of it and I put it over to another folder. We have about a dozen people who've seen Santa Claus who I think are credible. Now, you're going to sit here and go, okay, I can believe Dogman, Bigfoot, aliens, but Santa Claus, I'm not saying that it was actually Santa Claus, the guy that he comes down the chimney and whatever, blah, blah, blah. Some of these just could have been, somebody seeing, I don't know, like a dream or something. A couple of them seem dreamlike. But a couple of these, I think they're tulpas. I do. I think what they're seeing, I don't necessarily think that it's off the table that Krampus could be that too. Mm-hmm. One of the people that saw Krampus, it was very weird. I mean, the person was visiting a girl that he was seeing in Denmark, but he lived in Germany. He was from Germany, and he had met this girl, and they went to meet or whatever. And so she was a Danish girl, and her parents had a preoccupation with stuff like what we do, they love to look for Bigfoot, and they believed that there was a Bigfoot area there. And the one guy was all into fairies and portals, or the mother, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. And so what happened with this guy, he ends up becoming friends with these people, and he stays the night there one night after they had been drinking, and they were talking about the Krampus, and the dad was like, "Oh, Krampus, very popular in Germany, blah, blah, blah." And he was like, yeah. So, he goes to sleep and he wakes up seeing Krampus. This is a grown adult. He's 22 years old at the time. And so he had no belief that this was real. There was a Krampus festival in one of the towns close by to where he's from. He saw it one time. He wasn't like, it's not like something that preoccupied his thoughts or his mind. So he goes to sleep and he sees something. By the same token, there have been people who claim that they've lived in haunted houses and claim to have seen Santa Claus. One lady, though, was thoroughly convinced that there was this elf-like demonic being that lived in her house. And it was in Boston, it was in the city. And she's like, She goes, I'm convinced that there was a demonic entity in that house, and it was elf-like, and it did things like it would not just take things, but it would pretend to be people. And she had an 11-year-old son and a 7-year-old son. And at that time, the 7-year-old was still kind of on the cusp of believing in Santa Claus. The older kid kept telling him it wasn't real, and so Santa Claus came into their room. But I assure you, it was not Santa Claus. It was something else. So Tulpa, or a demonic manifestation of something that was dressed up as the old Saint Nick,
Mm-hmm.
right? One kid, he's not now. He's 42 years old, but his name is Matt. Very interesting story. I'm gonna tell you this one. He's from Houston. Now, Matt and me got on the subject of bull riding. This guy he didn't bull ride, his brother did, and he was real into whatever. So, yeah, and him and his brother had a horrific incident with what they thought was their stepdad drunk, dressed up as Santa Claus.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't Santa Claus. That's another one. So those are the kind of stories that we're going to talk about on Christmas. We're going to say, hey, you know what? Weird, but that's what the show is. To me, one of the creepiest stories that I was told about Christmas time that I can remember right off the top of my head, and I have it down as the third story. So let's get back to this one. But I'm going to tell you this one. These people. This is what happens when you go out Christmas shopping. It can get really weird. I've had some weird things happen to me Christmas shopping. Really weird. A couple things. I've thought, the average person is not going to notice that, but it is a spiritual thing that happens. So Christmas time has its own spirit. It really does. There's a spirit that comes, is the negative one, which is anxiety. People needing money and needing to buy things for people and do things or whatever. We have anxiety this year because we're that reason. When you buy a house, it's expensive, and you got to deal with being broke for a while. We have a food drive that we want to do, but I don't know because we don't know if we have the funds this year. If we don't, it will be. It would have been. It started in 2012, so this would have been the 12th year. We're still going to do it, but on a smaller scale. We just can't do it like what we normally do. But definitely going to take care of my people. We have to. Thank you, Two Shadows, for that donation. We appreciate that. And that will be used to probably buy the meat tomorrow. Here's what we got to talk about. Because people see these things and you think, oh, it doesn't really matter what time of year it is. Yes, it absolutely does. Mm-hmm. Because we don't know how time works on the other side. Or time, does time even exist? Does it even work? We don't know. But I could tell you this. When we went through and we looked at these reports, and me and Anthony have looked at hundreds, thousands, maybe, probably, covered, scoured. Don't know that I've read tens of thousands, but I've read at least a few thousand, probably. But if I said I read 10,000, I don't know if I can say that, but I've read a lot. And it takes up a large amount. It monopolizes my time. Anthony and Nellie see me doing it all the time. Yeah. I'm always reading, constantly talking to people. And sometimes it sucks because we have things to do, but I got to talk to people or at least communicate with them in some form or another. One of the things that comes up a lot, and I do this, and I do this, and I do this, and it is certain times of the day or night, which, Anthony, what time of night?
What, 3 a.m.?
3 a.m. You would not believe how many people say, I saw something and it was 3:33, 3:34, or 3:38, 3:30, and we're like, wow.
Yeah.
And then the daytime is weird. It's like between noon and 3. There's kind of this window there where people see things during the day. And then dusk. Dusk seems to be a very prominent time. I think because it's kind of like when you're waking up, you're in between sleep and awake. Same thing when you're in between that twilight of day and night. Things are coming out into from their slumber of the darkness, and then There are beings really that only come out in the dark. That's the truth. It's just the truth. The predators that do that. They hide. During the day, they hide. I think that the noon thing is because, and I've talked to Alfred, what's his name? Albert Rosales. I've talked to him, Chad Lewis. I've talked to Ken Lyle, everybody you can think of. We've discussed this. This time. Why these times? I'm pretty sure I've even talked to the Blondes and Booze about this. Maybe even BMR. I saw BMR in here earlier. I know I've talked to a lot of my colleagues about the times and the time of year. And there's certain times where these things tend to be, and they happen in clusters. And for some reason, December comes up way more than any other month as just being like full of this kind of stuff. Why December? We used to ask that question when I was on the other show, on when we would talk. Why December? And we didn't have the answers. We don't know. The host of the show didn't know, neither did I. But it was something that was discussed multiple times. Because the stories, a lot of times, the dates, you would go back and look, and you're like, this is December. There's December again. There's December. It's something I talked with Linda Godfrey about. And I talked to Scott Martis, the researcher. They were seeing things in Lake Ogopogo. Mm-hmm. He was a champ, Lake Champlain, and then Ogopogo. I mean, they were seeing these beings that look like sea monsters, whatever you want to call them, but the activity would spike in these late fall periods. You would think it's so cold in there. Why are people seeing these things in this cold weather? But it's something that, Anthony, you discussed on the show, because they're impervious to cold or heat.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter to them. Because if they're being, like, if they're not, like, truly physical beings, then, I mean, what does it matter if it's cold or hot? Because, there's a lot of different kinds of entities that only reside in the desert. There's a lot of stories that come out of the Middle East about these they call them jinn, but there's, that's kind of a blanket term, but there's different kinds of spirits that, like, are only encountered there. Like if you've listened to that episode about the lady who went to Petra at night when she wasn't supposed to go, it's a very notorious place. A lot of people in that region are very afraid of it at night. It's a tourist destination during the day, but at night there are things that only come out at night there that only exist in that region. So, yeah, I mean, they exist no matter how hot it is in a region, how cold it is. It doesn't really, I mean, it doesn't matter. It's like if you're a spirit, it doesn't, I don't think it would affect you. So.
A lot of people giving us their opinions on this. Yep. So a lot of people giving their reasons why December, why they believe December is. These are theories. I mean, we're postulating here. But people seeing Dogman Christmas time. So the people that saw this west of Waco, and they were going to get into a really creepy ghost type story. I don't know if it's a ghost. I don't know what it is. But this, anyway, in 2010, they saw this creature. And at this time, it was more pronounced, and it was doing something completely different than what this other one was, if the other one was the same thing. But the odds, Belton, they were in Belton. I met these people when we were at the rodeo, or the bull riding event. And they like to go there and whatever. And one of the things that she says, we've seen a hyena more than once. And her husband was sitting there and he was like, yep. And we were all sitting right there, and it was cold as hell, and we had these front row seats, and those bulls were going crazy that night. And it was December, and we were talking, and they were telling us. I think it was last December, I believe.
Mhm.
And so they were telling us some crazy stories. Got in touch with them. I said, "Look, we'll talk. We'll get in touch." I got in touch with them, and about a week after the Christmas of last year or whatever, and I put this into the files, the folders, and I thought it was really interesting that they had actually seen a hyena in 2001 snatching up a black vulture and eating it, and it ran out into a ditch, disappeared. 2010, her husband and her in Belton. They're leaving the rodeo. Or it's outside of Belton. They're leaving the rodeo area where we were, and they see this hyena-looking creature kind of crouched down, crawling up under a fence. When it got to the other side of the fence, it did something very unusual. It sprang up on two legs. Her husband is 3/4 native, and you can look at him and tell. You can tell he's native. Okay. His dad is half, his mother's full-blooded, and so he's two different types of native. But you can tell by looking at the guy. He's Lipan and Kickapoo. And she believes that it's all centered around him. She's like, she goes, for a long time, I thought these were just two completely separate incidences. There was no connection there at all. But she's like, after a while, I started to realize, like, I only had encounters and only saw something weird when I was with him. She says, on my own, she's like, I thought long and hard. She goes, I had one simple encounter, if you want to call it simple. She saw a wooden spoon, kind of like her sister threw it at her other sister. She said, I watched it. She goes, I was the middle child. And for some reason, the youngest one and the older one were constantly at war. And then she goes, I had a brother who was constantly stuck in the flames. He was, she goes, we all love each other now, but we were terrible to each other. And she says her one sister threw a wooden spoon. She was literally making pasta, turns around and throws it. She goes, this is back in the 70s,
Mm-hmm.
And she said, and I said, well, wooden spoons were scientifically proven to be faster in 1977. But when Star Wars came out, that's when we learned about light speed. And Mexican moms around the world celebrated the throwing of the chancla at your cabeza. And the wooden spoon contest took hold. Now, I've heard in German women are really good at the wooden spoon too. I have a friend from Germany who told me about getting popped upside the head by a wooden spoon. And my brother's mother, because we have the same dad, different mom, his mom, definitely, she's a wooden spoon throwing champ. She put a scar on my brother Russ. Probably deserved. He says it's not. It was. I don't believe that. He deserved it. But so this light speed, right? So she sees the spoon get thrown, but then it slows down and just kind of goes down at an angle. And I said, was that house haunted? She goes, there again. She goes, my siblings said it was, but nothing ever happened to me. The only time anything ever happened to her, she's like, it was just little bitty things, She's like, but it was when I was with other people who were, And so it could lend credence to the idea that maybe these people can, I don't know, like tune in to that wavelength that those other people are tuning into. Stop and look for a minute at this situation. Like, if you lived with someone and there was weird stuff that would be seen periodically by them, and you didn't see it, if you were her, right? You didn't see it. You would be hard pressed to believe it until it happens. She's like, but in 2001, when we saw the hyena looking thing, she goes, it just looked like a hyena. It was big. It was humongous. She's like, it was like the size there again. She's like, it was like the size of a black bear. Another person had claimed that they saw it out in the Permian Basin. It looked like it was the size of a lion. And these people weren't getting attacked by them. They're just there. But I said, do you think the first beast led to the sighting of the second one?
You can ignore it. That's me.
Oh, okay. So you had this critter, appearing, climbing under a fence and standing up. Now, she said that this thing looked different. It had like long hair. It wasn't like this short hair. You know how the hyenas have like this short hair with the spots? She said this one had like long hair and it was kind of scruffy looking and it had rings on its body. But it stood up on its hind legs. She said it looked weird, like it was a weird looking creature. So her husband tells her, he's like, look, I've seen these things 3 times. This isn't the first or the second one. The first time he saw it, he was 12 years old. He himself saw something that looked hyena-like, but it was looking in his window, of him and his brother's window, when he was little. And he grew up in Schneider, Texas, a long ways from there when he was a real young kid. And he's an older guy now. But, he's like, dude, when I was a kid, we saw this thing. He goes, and in the face, it was standing there in the window. He goes, it turned its head. And, he goes, it was intently looking at me and my brother. And he's like, dude, it was, weird. And his mother, she's from South Texas, and his dad, he's from Southwest Texas. And he ended up living there because of work stuff. But anyway, he grew up there out in West Texas, and then he comes to Central Texas, starts working, and then they move here. And they were coming back from a function, like I think it was a college thing or something for his oldest daughter or something, when they saw the thing in 2001 or whatever. She had I think they were dropping her off in college or something, and at Baylor. And then but there are a lot of people who see these creatures. And I said, this one that stood up on its hind legs, what did it do? And he said, nothing. We drove by it so quickly. It was just there in the pasture. That there's no way to know what that was.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another thing that happened. There's a woman who went to the outlet mall right here in Round Rock. She used to live here. She don't live here in Round Rock anymore. She lives down in Houston. But she said, she's like, when I was living in Austin, she's like, I took my 2 daughters and my baby granddaughter, who's basically a 1 or 2 year old baby. She said she was not even toddling yet. I don't know how old she was, because she said not toddling, that's a baby.
Mm-hmm.
So she said, anyway, she said, I took my granddaughter, wasn't even toddling. And she's like, and we went to Christmas shop. She's like, we didn't go take a baby with us in the middle of all the rambunctiousness of Black Friday. She's like, but we waited until the last minute to go and do some Christmas shopping.
Yeah.
And she's like, my sister, she's like, I was waiting around for her to get paid because she didn't want me to go without her. Okay. And plus her vehicle was broken down, so she needed her. So she says, I had to go with my sister and her 2 kids and my 2 kids, and we all had to squeeze into my minivan. And she's like, we get there and it's a madhouse. It's, the day before Christmas Eve, which would be tomorrow, right? And she says, we were in the Coach store. When she said that, I was like, you remember us doing the Coach store. We did security there during Black Friday years ago, but we did it for years and years. We did it for like several years, right? We did the outlet malls.
Mm-hmm.
But she said that this was several years ago. And she's like, we were in the Coach store and these 2 women were arguing. They didn't touch each other, but they were arguing over a purse. And the other one was like, well, go ahead and take it, whatever. And she said they started kind of talking smack to each other. One was a black lady, one was a Hispanic lady. And the Hispanic lady called her a pendeja, and the black lady knew what that was. And she goes, well, you're a puta, So she said something back to her in Spanish. That I guess obviously she knew a little bit of Spanish. She's like, and they were going back and forth. She goes, and I noticed there was this woman while they were busy arguing and talking about the purse, whatever, they both had kind of turned away and then turned back. Another woman, she walks up and she grabs the purse. And when she turns around, she goes, I'm just standing there, pushing the cart and just like waiting for my daughters to be done fighting over purses, whatever. She's like, and I noticed when this woman turns around, she's like, she looks at me. And the lady's name is Gail. Okay. But Gail says this woman turned around and she looks at me straight up. She goes, and I could see her eyes slit up.
Mm.
And her eyes were all white and milky. And there was like this green slit in the middle of her eyes. And she's like, her eyes kind of darted around like that. And she grabbed the purse and like kind of scurried away. And she just thought, wow, that's weird. That person looked just like a reptile. She's like, it wasn't until years later, she's like around 2020, when she started paying attention to things like that. And then she goes around 2021, she's like, pandemic's going on and everybody's still running around with masks and everything. And her daughter and her had her one daughter that lived with her had been binge watching all these shows and stuff. And her daughters found our channel. But she also listened to some other people too. And I don't remember how she found her channel. I think it was through Merkel or somebody. But she said that her daughter had found our channel, and she tuned her in and turned her on to listening to us talk about the reptilians agenda. And so she sent me a message and she says, I got to tell you something. I saw this. She goes, I used to call it the snake lady because I didn't know what it was. She's like, but it was the day before Christmas Eve, the night before. And she's like, and we were in the store and there was all this people arguing and fussing and whatever. And she said it was weird because she goes, I didn't notice her kind of standing off to the right and staring at these two people. She's like, but now I think about it. She goes, she was standing there and I think she made them fight. She's like, I know it sounds crazy. And she's like, maybe I am crazy. And I told her, I said, no, not necessarily. I mean, lower vibrational feelings, you get caught up by lower vibrational entities. Especially when you're fighting over material, okay? Because I'll be, okay, like this hat. I like this hat, right? But I'm not going to walk into Lids and throw down with some guy. If you hear about me fighting with someone at Lids, it's because that person's got the retardation or something. It ain't going to be because I'm fighting them over the last hat that they had. Oh, no, man. You ain't taking that hat, bro. Sorry. I got to have my Astros hat, dude. No, what's up? What you want to do? Huh? What's up? See, and then this is what happens. Over what? A Rangers hat, Astros, Red Sox hat? I mean, it's not going to be a Cowboys hat because I'm done until Jerry Jones goes away. I guess we're screwed. That's the Scrooge right there. The ghost of Christmas past. You remember when you fired Jimmy Johnson? Well, I didn't fire him. It was a mutual. He left because you were an asshole. Same thing. Well, okay. Ghost of Christmas present. Here is your Cowboys sucking ass, losing as always. The ghost of Christmas present is just him with his tombstone in the middle of the field. He comes out of it. I'm still the general manager. We know, Jerry. We know. We get it. So she sees this woman. But here's the thing. She said this woman made eye contact with her for a few seconds and then. So she goes for about a week until like New Year's Day. She's like, I had this headache that just would not go away. Kept coming back, go away, come back, go away. And she said, I was helping my sister make some food for New Year's Eve. They were having a big party because she did Christmas. She's like, we did Thanksgiving at my mom's and Christmas at my place. And my sister was going to do the New Year's Eve party. She's the wild one anyway. Longhorns are winning. Yeah, they won yesterday. Well, Cowboys are up right now, but that's messing up my Buccaneers. My Bucks need to win because the Cowboys ain't got a snowball's chance in hell. They would have to win out, and then several other teams would have to lose a bunch of games, and you know, you'd have to. There's a bunch of stuff that would have to happen. Okay, so yeah, Barry, that's a true thing. I don't know if that was a reptilian. I mean, I say it is. A lot of people say it is.
Look at King Grove's comment. I still
function. Why not bet? They kick him out of the ship.
Yeah.
I wish Starscream was around to do that to Jerry. You know?
Yeah.
He's like, I still function. And they're like, you want to bet? And they just like kick him. What's it, Astro Train? He's like, jettison some weight and
Yeah.
never make it to Cybertron.
Yeah.
I say it's survival of the fittest, of course, because you're not injured.
Yeah.
So there's like all those in favor, yay! And then those against, they're all the wounded. Like, yeah, of course, you're wounded. You're like, I still function. But they're Decepticons. They're bad guys. They don't have any loyalty. So you were their great leader until you were wounded. Well, now you're just you're a liability. You're collateral. You don't want that. You're just in the way. So, however the damage happened, it doesn't matter. They don't care. Evil is evil. That's why people that think that evil is like there's just one devil or super devil and he runs all the other devils. No. They can't agree on the time of day. That's why we win, because evil eats itself. We were talking the other day about me having friends as I was a child. I have friends that I am still friends with. My friend Max, for example. You know Max.
Mm-hmm.
He lives up in Fort Worth. Been friends since we were kids. Still friends to this day. My friend Keith. He was at my conference. He came to watch me speak. Lives up there in Fort Worth. A lot of my friends live up in Fort Worth. But been friends since I was 10. I was 10 years old when I met Keith. So been friends with these people for decades. Daniel Robles. Met him when I was 14. So, you have friends that are just, why are they still my friend? If I'm a horrible guy, why are they still my friend? What is Scorpion? Been friends with Scorpion since 1999. So all these people still my friends, but yet I'm some kind of big poo-poo cockahead. Don't you think at some point we would have had crossed swords and not be friends anymore? I mean, I've even had my issues with Chief. He's a fighter, so am I. He's got pride, so do I. And we had some issue and we resolved it. I've had issues with people, but you don't drag it out and keep fighting. You get over it. You make things right. The person that's wrong says, hey, I'm wrong. If you're both wrong, then be man and say you're both wrong. I will sit down with anybody in this field and tell them, my part and whatever the fighting has been. And I'll apologize if I feel like it's necessary. But damn it, I'm going to defend myself. And I'll do it on my time, on my terms. You're not going to run me and control my life. I'm not going to respond every time you do or say something because that gives you energy. But when the time is right, it is going to come out. It's going to be exposed. Because the lying is only going to get you so far. The truth will always come out. And, what you're doing is really the real conspiracies right there. Conspiring with other people to do things to us instead of leaving us the hell alone. You had your opportunity for that and you chose not to. You chose to make war. And then people love to cry after that war doesn't work out. Then you're a poo-poo gaga head. You're a bad guy. Yeah, Lawrence, that's a case too. Like, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Me and one of my good friends for years and years, still one of my best friends, Jerome, we didn't start out as friends. He tried to get into the gym I was working at, and I was like, man, get out of here. We become like really close friends. We're great friends now. We've been friends for decades. And then my friend Willie, God rest his soul, he couldn't stand me when we first met because I was brash, I was young, I was arrogant, I had an attitude. I knew what I was capable of, and I was going to do what I was going to do. But we became friends. And we were friends until the day he died. Same. But, you know, I mean, on this show, I had a guy, we beat the hell out of each other. We boxed each other. Tony Duran, he's a great guy. He's been on the show. Sat right there in that chair. Dude, he dislocated my freaking jaw. I won. But I was talking like this for like 2 weeks. So my dad, at that time, me and my dad were still friends. We're I guess, friendly on speaking terms now. We're not best friends or anything.
Cordial.
Whatever. I mean, if he wants to make an effort, fine. If not, oh well. But at that time, me and my dad, we talked, you know, and my dad did call me and he's like, hey, how'd it go? I told him, I was like, yeah, I dislocated my jaw, you know, and he's like, wow, so you lost? No, I won. But the difference is that he went to a party and hung out and had margaritas or whatever they were doing, and I had to lay there with something on my face, which actually I was on this side. Just because you win doesn't mean that, you know, you're a lot of times you end up worse for the wear. That's just how it goes. But I don't hold any grudges against him or anybody else that I fought with or had any problems with at any point in time. I move on with my life. I got a lot going on, and I can't hold grudges. Let me tell you something. If you're a grudge-holding person, you will not be successful. I'm telling you the truth. Because every time someone aggravates you, and people, I know there's people that do some ass things, right? But sometimes it's as simple as somebody doing something that you perceive as a reproach or an insult. And it's like some of these people, I swear, they find insults in a bouquet of roses.
You can either have your pride or you can be a successful person.
You can't have both.
It's not going to happen.
So you got people who are willing to just put their differences aside and close the deal, be a business person about it. I've made deals with people who I was not fond of. But, you know, you're some of our clients even, you want to walk away from these people because they're douchebags. They really are. And they sit there and they give you a bunch of shit. And some of them are the ones that are barely paying you.
Yeah.
They pay you the least. And I asked one of them one day, and of course they fired me on the spot, but I got really snarky. I said, man, what is your interpretation of a lot of money? What am I paying you? She starts screaming, and I'm like, can you hear me? I'm like, what do you consider a lot of money? Because you said you're paying me a lot of good money. And no, you're not. You know, you're asking for 2 patrol hits a night, and you're telling me to go over there and break up dog fights? Because some people, no, seriously, you remember that lady? She wanted us to go over there. I'm not going to say the name of the complex. I'm not even going to say that. But I debated. I'm not going to do it. But anyway, she was snarky as hell because there was 2 dogs that, well, it really wasn't a dog fight. The people whose dog aggressed said, oh, they got into a fight. No, your dog tore the bottom lip off. It tore up another dog. There was a little dog was just trying to go poop, and this other dog comes out there like Jaws and attacks it. I mean, that's what happened. Where do I come in this? She's like, well, your people had already come and they left. Yeah, you're paying us for 2 hits. We came back after it was over. We had no idea that there was a fight there, or that it happened between 2 dogs. I didn't know that Snickers and Bully Boy, the pit was a bully pit or some kind of bull crap like that. So I was like, so what was I supposed to do? And then the other dog had a weird name like Skittles or Snickers or some shit. Because I looked at the report, it was like, you got to talk to the police and be like, well, you got a report for? Yes, the dog Snickerdoodles was assaulted by whatever the other dog's name was, Lord Worthington or whatever it was named, some kind of gentrified name. He had some weird name, like he had like it was like Bentley or something. It wasn't Bentley, but
Yeah.
My brother shares a dog with Anthony's brother. I say that because it's really my brother's dog, and his brother's having to take care of it. But his brother's likes the dog. But it's like they can't make up a decision where the dog's gonna be. because the dog is not well trained. He's not well behaved because he's never had to be trained. That's the problem. But anyway, it's they call him Bentley. I don't know who came up with that, but that's the dog's name. And anyway, this dog had some kind of Belvedere or something like that. So, yeah, I'm reading this report, and this lady is like, "Your guard should be more attentive. The whole neighborhood could hear." I was like, "Lady, the next closest property is like 4 or 5 blocks away." They're supposed to be like, "Is that the sound of a small dog being attacked? I'm on my way. I'm super security, top flight."
They need security in the world, Craig.
You come down and you're like, the dog's attacking. You're like, "Stop, foul beast." The dog's like, "Oh no, super security is here." He lets go of the dog. "I apologize. I lost control. Please don't hurt me. Now that you're here, I'll behave and I'll stick to my rawhide shoes." That's all it takes. But we weren't there, damn it. Top flight security was not there with a can of Mighty Dog to stop this excursion that took place. And so these people tell you these ridiculous things. And she's like, "We're paying you good money." That's not good money, and it's not worth it. She's like, "Well, then I'll find someone else. Am I fired?" She goes, "Yes." And I'm like, "Cool." A week later, her boss is calling. "Hey, what's going on? Why have you all not been here? Your underling person fired me." "Really?" "Yeah, there was a dog incident. They beat each other up. Well, one beat up another one, and then we were supposed to be there or something to take pictures of this incident. Nobody called and told us this was going on. One of the people there lied and said they tried to call us. No, they didn't. You didn't call the police?" "Oh, because they don't come. Because 2 dogs are fighting." Maybe if the dogs had gats and they were boom, 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 then the cops would come like 47 of them. Woo!
Yeah.
Woo! All of them. Every cop in the city would show up. Black, white, purple, yellow, gay, straight, all of them. Every single kind of cop would show up. They come falling out of the sky. There's a gun. There's a gun involved. They're like, "Where's the gun? Where's your gun?" "Yeah, there's these dogs that are fighting." "Yeah, but where's the gun at? The gun. Where's the gun? Show us the gun. Show us on the dog where the gun is." That's all they care about. Like, "Where's the gun? Show us the gun. Pull out your gun. Show us." This is Austin cops on location at the Iron Bull. Pull over. It's a Josh Turner. He's an asshole. I don't like him. One of these days, I'm going to do my magic on him. I'm going to fireball or some kind of chain lightning or something. Turn him into a toad. You watch. There he is. He looks like a toad. I did that. I made his fingers crooked too. F around and find out. It's not even the siren. It's just him going, "Woo, woo, pull over. You better pull over.
Stop in the name of love.
And stop in the name of love. Before I go to Reddit, pulling over." I got to give you something you can make fun of, right? It was this. Now, we got to give them something. Let's give them something to talk about, right? So where was I when the dogs fought?
They're drowning over there. I need some help.
When they called and they said, "Hey, there's dogs fighting," I'm like, "I'm not Michael Vick. What do you want me to do?" If you want dogs to stop fighting, call the other guys. If you want blatant inattentiveness, call us. We're those guys. Not going to give a shit about the dogs fighting. I've told you about pit bulls 100 times. You don't want to listen to me. All I said was that pit bulls do a lot of the biting. They're very bitey animals. I'm just being honest. So this woman, she tells me, she's like, I see this, what she called the snake lady. But here's what happened. A week going into this, she starts having these dreams. Her sister was having them too. She goes, we're blowing up balloons for New Year's Eve. And my sister's like, she said, I told my sister, I said, golly, what is wrong with your face? She goes, what? It's my face. I'm fair. I get it. Okay. I'm ugly. I told her, I said, I used to call my sister the sapafea, the ugly frog. I used to hate that. She'd be, ay, como chingas. Why you always got to say things like, ¿Tú quieres malo? Yes. Okay. Yes. I am mean because you're my sibling and I hate you. Although I do love you. I don't want you to die, but I do want you to die. I often thought about how it would be to be an only child. That's a lot of killing. And I was like, I'm too lazy for that shit. I'm just going to drink Dr. Pepper and play this stupid Nintendo game. Just hate you from a distance. You know. I saw Home Alone and I thought, pain bucket. Bang, you know, and then I was like, oh, that will never work. They'll know it was me. I'm the smart one. They're like, who could have come up with this elaborate theme to this scheme to slay all of our kids? And there's only one left. It had to be him. He's the smart one. But I digress. What we're talking about is this woman seeing this, and she says, we're blowing up balloons. I tell my sister, I was like, look, you look like you haven't slept in a week. What's going on here? And she says, okay, I'm just ugly. She's like, I'm not trying to pick at you. She's like, I'm telling you right now. She's like, you look, you know, like rough. And she goes, I could say the same thing about you. She's like, she's tying the balloons, you know. And she tells her, she's like, yeah, I've been having I've been not sleeping good. And she says, the day after, from Christmas Eve on, she's like, I hadn't been able to sleep. I've been having dreams. I had a dream that I was in the bathtub and this woman, she looked Asian. She tried to crawl into the bathtub with me. And she had these snake-like eyes. And she's like, holy crap. She says, because the woman that she saw at that place where the two ladies were arguing over a purse, she says she looked like she was either Hispanic with Asiatic looking features or like maybe she was Asian. That's what she looked like. And she said, and I had a dream about this woman knocking on my door. And I went outside and I was looking out the windows and the woman was going around my house, trying to look inside, trying to get in, asking me to come in. She was yelling. She's like, and then I wake up and there's like this yelling going on. And she said that was the day after Christmas. And of course, her sister's like, we're having, you know, New Year's Eve at our place, whatever, you know, come, you know, whatever, bring your badass kids and do whatever, you know, you got to do. And she says, this is, you know, so I couldn't really tell her anything else. I mean, that's a scary incident, you know, but get this. This is the guy that went to a liquor store. And this was December 31st. It was New Year's Eve. But once again, in December. He's like, I'm headed to the liquor store. And everybody's piling in the liquor store. This was in Temple, Texas. That's where Abe lives, where he's from. Well, he's not from there. He's from the valley, but yeah, he lives there. But he said, dude, we had just pulled into Temple. He goes, I'm from Austin, lived in Round Rock. He's like, but I'd gone to Temple to visit some friends. We're having a big get together, a big party, and it was out in the country, out between Temple and Belton. He's like, and we pull in, we get to the liquor store. It was several years ago, and he couldn't tell me exactly what, you know, year. He said it was like somewhere like 2014, 2015, something like that. And he's like, we pulled in. He's like, and I jump out, and I run in there, and I go and I grab, and the stores are about to close, like the liquor store is about to close. He's like, and I run in there and I grab some Jack and, you know, whatever, some rum, some whiskey. He's like, and I'm standing there getting ready to pay. He goes, and I look up and the guy behind the counter is like looking at this, like backed up, like his back is against the wall. And the person he's looking at, he's just like, and the person was like digging for change. He goes, and I looked over at the shoulder and there were two people behind him. He's like, so I was kind of off to the side. So there was only one lady behind me. He goes, so I kind of looked to see what this guy was looking at. He's like, and I look and I see the side of this woman's face, it turned green. And then it went back to normal. He's like, and then her arm was this greenish gray color. And then it went back to normal. And this guy I can't remember his name, Dylan. I think his name is Dylan. It starts with a D. It's the same name as the guy from, that's his name, right? Dylan.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, Dylan tells us that he's like looking and he's like, holy crap, dude. And then he was like, the guy. So what he did, he looked and there was another guy there that locked the door. So this guy, Dylan, he thought on his feet. He was like, you know what? He goes, I'm kind of interested in this stuff. And I got to know this guy, and he only told me this story because he had seen a dogman. And I can tell you that story. It's not real long and involved, but you know what? It is kind of, it might take up 20, 30 minutes. I don't know. But anyway, he goes, I asked him, I was like, had anything ever happened to you besides the dogman? It was standard procedure. I don't just get to dogman story, see ya, And so I talked to this guy, and he says, look, he's like, I saw this woman like shape-shifting or something. And he goes, but it was weird. The scales on her arm and her face were almost like octagonal pattern, but they were reptilian-looking scales. But it kind of flashed. And he's like, I don't know what I was looking at. Later on, he goes, I thought about it. People were saying that, we're living in a matrix. And he's like, dude, I didn't know what to think. It's a weird thing. He's like, so I'm looking at this woman and I see her sort of morph. He's like, and there's one lady behind me. There's no one else. So the guy locks the door and there's another person comes running up, knocking on the door. And they're like, nope, sorry, we're closed. Because TABC rules. There's laws. There's rules. Mm-hmm. Texas Alcohol Beverage Commission don't mess around. They're like a gang. They'll get your ass. So anyway, he lets the lady in front of him go. He says, go ahead. And she's like, are you sure? And everybody's in a hurry because they're going to these parties, right? It's almost midnight, whatever, New Year's, whatever. And so he's over there and he's like, he waits. He kind of chills, lays back. And then he gets to the counter and he tells that guy, he's like, hey man, he goes, what did you see that woman? He goes, did you see that? He goes, it was a foreigner, obviously. And I asked him, where was the guy from? He goes, I didn't think to ask. He's like, I'm assuming like India, Pakistan. Could have been Nepalese too. There's a lot of Nepalese people, but they usually run convenience stores, not liquor stores. But anyway, it would have been interesting to know where he came from, whether he was Bangladesh, because that will tell you a little more about what he was thinking. That's just for me, because I like to know what's going on in people's minds. What are they thinking when they see this thing? Mm-hmm. And so he asks him. And then he's talking to the guy, and then his friend, he said, my friend is in the car, and he starts like honking the horn. He's like, and so I had to go. He's like, but dude, he goes, it was crazy. He's like, the guy, he goes, man, I did see her face, and it looked like a lizard, like she changed, like a reptile. And he was like, holy shit, man. So he left. Now, he had a dogman encounter, and it was while he was hunting. And lo and behold, it was down in South Texas. And at first, he thought it was a black bear, and it wasn't a black bear. And he was up in a tree stand, and he saw a black bear. And he's like, looks through the scope, and he was like, no, that is not a black bear. It was a black wolf-like creature that had really long front legs, but it also had really long back legs. It was bear-like, but it had a wolf, the pointy snout of a wolf and the ears of a wolf. So he's like, imagine a bear's body with wolf and human-like characteristics. He's like, and then it gets, he goes about 30 feet from my stand, and he goes, then it looks up at me. He's like, and then it stands up. He goes, and when it stood up, it began to walk, but it didn't walk like a bear. You know how bears kind of like waddle? Yeah. He's like, it wasn't anything like that. He's like, and when I pointed the gun right down at it, the rifle, it stopped. Like it did not pursue. It was like debating coming up that tree. He's like, and I had this image in my mind that kind of went into my mind, like mind speak, like this thing telling me, I'm going to kill and eat you, basically. And that he had the image in his mind of it leaping onto the tree and just crawling up it real fast and getting to him, almost spider-like. And he goes, dude, and I had that image in my mind. And so I basically spoke in my mind, I just was like, if you move, I'm going to, if you move towards me. So it started moving backwards. So it respected the gun. Obviously, it can be hurt by it, but it had the ability to show him images in his head. Or maybe he was just thinking that that's what would happen. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But that guy had a pretty good story. This thing that there was a black wolf-like creature. It walked backwards. He said it was about 6'5", 7 foot, like a really tall man. It wasn't like overly large, He just called it a werewolf because he didn't know what it was. And he's like, and for years, he goes, I told my cousins, I was like, dude, there was this thing, I don't know what it was. And then there was somebody from Grand Prairie who gave me a story. And this one was Christmas too. Another weird one. But she said that her sister got grabbed by something. It was crazy. She said her sister, it was Christmas time. It was like a couple days before Christmas Eve, and they were doing their shopping. So that would probably be like today. And she said that it was getting down to the nitty gritty, and her sister always waited to the last minute. So she went out with her boyfriend to go find some stuff to go to Walmart or whatever. And she said they were getting out of their vehicle and they thought that something flew overhead. Now, this is back when Walmart set up for 24 hours, before they all got real cheap and started cutting because they didn't want to pay somebody. They got real cheap. They maximize their profits. Oh,
everything's self-checkout now.
The pandemic. Now we don't have to, we don't have to pay people. We're just going to, everything. 38% of places that closed 24 hours went under during COVID. 38%. So basically 40% of the businesses. No longer.
It's all small businesses that went under, but big business saw record profits.
Yeah, record profits, and then they cut the hours of the workers. Real nice. Real nice of them to do that.
But make sure you run out and get your jab.
Mm-hmm. So, this woman, she goes out and she's shopping, and she tells her, her sister's name is Carla, I believe, but she told her name is Nancy. Nancy said something to me that struck a chord. She's like, I've had many weird things happen to me around Christmas. Not the least of which, she said, when we were kids. This is what she said. She goes, when I was 12 years old, I was 12 years old going on 13. She was born 2 days after Christmas. So she's one of those kids that gets like you, Anthony. You get screwed on the Christmas and birthday.
Yeah.
Just right there together.
Yeah.
So she's like, I never got birthday gifts. It was like, oh, just one of your Christmas presents is you got to wait until your birthday to open.
Yeah.
So it's like, this one is your birthday gift. You got to wait. You got to wait 2 more days to open that shit. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So it was like, they hijack a couple of your presents and just be like, you want this? Wait. Right. For Anthony, it was you get a couple of your Christmas presents early.
Yeah.
So what she did, she's like, she chastised her sister for always waiting to the last minute and then buying crappy gifts. She's like, you're always complaining that people don't like what I buy. She's like, why don't you try going, instead of running to Walmart the night before, they give away gifts on Christmas Eve. She's like, why don't you try going at a decent time and actually putting some thought and energy and maybe a little money into, whatever. And her sister's like, oh, you don't know what it's like to be poor and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, well, yeah, that's because you drink all the time and you smoke and it's expensive, She was giving me some complaints about it. I get it. I understand. Yeah. There's people that do that. And they're like, I'm broke. Well, there's reasons for that.
Yeah. You always got money for booze, cigarettes, and weed, don't you?
Yeah, but you're broke. Well, my life ain't all together like yours is. I've been in between cars and in between jobs for 20 years. Yes, exactly. Why don't you try sticking with something? But anyways, her sister goes Christmas shopping and something flies overhead over the car. And later on, when they leave, they live kind of out in the country. She says they were driving back. And she says, crazy, dude. She gets out of the vehicle and whatever it was, she believes that they had seen fly overhead, but she looked up and they didn't see it. Flapping its wings, it grabbed her. She said she felt human-like hands with sharp claws because they had dug into her shoulder. She said to this day, her sister has these claw marks on her shoulders that look like fingernails. And her boyfriend, he's getting out. He dropped something and he was fumbling around for it. And he looks up and sees this thing and it drops her. He screams at it. She screams and it loses focus and it drops her, but then it tries to circle back around. And he says it just looked like a man with wings. He couldn't make out the features. It was really dark.
Mm-hmm.
And so they both ran inside. They live in a mobile home, but they ran inside and they began to just look outside, and she said it wasn't until the next day when they went back outside armed to grab the Christmas presents. And they were freaked out, dude. What was it? And she's not a very big woman. Like she's like barely 5 foot.
Yeah.
So she's a very tiny, petite woman, which may explain why this thing tried to. And speaking of which, now Maddie, hey, eye off the ground. Wish she would have dropped her. Maddie, you need to be careful because if a flying thing can snatch up a woman, you need to be careful because you're a tiny individual. As we've discussed before, folks, the tribe that she comes from, this is one of their leg bones. It's
Maybe she could run him to one of those Tom and Jerry holes. Be sheltered.
she runs in there. It's that like Warner Brothers music. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
And the bad guy. Dun, 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 dun. She's in there looking at it. I'm in here and I'm safe. Then, like, you see the cat hand going, trying to grab her. Sorry, I'm too tiny. That would scare the crap out of me if something swooped down and tried to grab Nellie. Like that would be horrific because what if it tried to grab you?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, oh, it's got Nellie, but what if it drops her or finishes eating her? She's small, and then comes for me. Then I got to worry about that. I got to worry about what I'm going to do. Because if it can get to you, it can get to me, and I can't have that. We can't be.
Well, that's why you got to keep a smaller person around you at all times.
Yeah, to throw as the getaway person. Like, ha!
I'll remember your sacrifice. And toss
Yay! Him. Now, every year on December whatever, I will make a toast to the sacrifice that was made by the little person. And thank you, Amy Creel, for that MLAS research fund. Folks, you want to donate to the MLAS fund, it is a good cause.
Laws.
It's Matty Legs and Arms Syndrome. Matty Leg Arm Syndrome. When your arms are the size of Maddie's legs, you're very unhealthy. Tony, talking to you, man. Hit the gym. Do it now, or it's too late. Your arms are so thin now, dude, that they may fall off from atrophication. Is that a word?
It is now.
You want to say hi?
Hello. Can they hear me?
Yeah, they can hear you. You're not on camera. You got to move over a little bit.
That's okay.
Well, they see a chair. Wave at least. Wow. Okay. So there we go. There you have it, folks. The elusive Nelly monster. The Loch Nelly monster. Yeah, Tony says he's trying to build that banjo body. You're doing a good job, buddy. Doing a good job. There you go, Maddie. She says for just one payment of $99.99, you can help the cure. But everybody needs to donate that. This is an important cause, folks. I'm telling you. Nobody needs to suffer with that size of arms or legs. Anybody who has that going on is they're just not well. and I don't know the lady's sister's name. We tried looking at different, like the name game. Maybe there's people whose names come up more often associated with these attacks or, encounters. We couldn't. There's no like. I went over it with my brother, with Nelly, Scorpion, Anthony, Tony, D. Other researchers. I've gone over it with Ken. Like what I've talked to a lot of people about this because it really bothers me. Is there a rhyme or reason why? Because think about it. They were at Walmart and something flew overhead. They live several miles out of town. So this thing decided it's like, I'm going to take her. And it sounds completely random and just nonsensical. Until you talk to this person and then you find out that this is not an isolated incident. Now, it is the first and only time she was ever accosted by a flying entity. But it was not the first time that a flying entity was involved in someone that lived in their household. Her son, and I don't know his name. Her son, he has a very like, how people name their kids Jaden, Braden. His name is like Breaker or something like that. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be silly. I'm not trying to be funny here.
You're not trying.
I'm not sure. No, because
good.
I don't want to make Nancy upset. Nancy, listen to what
Nancy,
I'm
we
going to
like you. Sorry.
we like you. I can't think of your son's name, but he has like a Tanner or something. It's something. It's funny because she's Hispanic.
Maybe he's
but her husband's
meant
white.
to be that he keeps anonymous.
Well, no, because she gave me his name, but I can't remember his name. I don't remember. But anyway, it's a very white person's name. It really is. It really is. It's like white people, they name the kids like Jaden, Aiden, stuff like that.
Chad.
Well, yeah, Chad. But this is like one of those like Tanner, Breaker, something. Anyway, I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's not important. I'm sorry. It drives me nuts when I can't remember people's names. But anyways, her son was sitting outside and he likes to smoke cigars. He's in his early 20s and he's an adult. If he wants to do it, he can do it. But she says she doesn't like it. It's a bad habit. She doesn't like him smoking, whatever. But he does it. He smokes cigars and he's got like a little humidor or whatever. And I used to like to smoke cigars. I used to have a humidor. I used to smoke them. But then I started thinking I'm going to be able to use my voice. I don't want anything to happen to it. And if I'm going to be healthy, I can't be doing that because it raises your blood pressure. So I had to give it up. It's like I had to give up a lot of things.
So your best smoker's voice.
Like this. Yeah. But yeah, you know what, Rodriguez, you're right, man. He just said something. He said it could see her vulnerability. It's very possible because whenever this thing did what it did, like Brendan, there you go. No, but it wasn't Brendan. It was something like that. It was like Breaker. I think that was his name. It was Breaker.
That's actually cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So
Benjamin?
Whenever this guy was outside, and this happened to him when he was 19. Okay, now he's like in his 20s or whatever. But he's sitting there and he's looking up at the sky, and she's like, where we lived at that time. She's like, it was beautiful. The sunset was beautiful. Like on the Turner farm. Mm-hmm. Not the ranch, but the farm. Mm-hmm. Okay. The sunset's beautiful out there. It's beautiful at the ranch too. But the sunset at the farm is something else. Two different places.
Oh man. They both have their
one of them is my uncle's farm. And it is it's a former farm. It's defunct now. They don't do anything. They're selling it because good old Samsung came. So if you know anybody who wants 100 acres in Taylor, let me know. So that the sunset out there is really beautiful. So he was looking at the sunset, and I told her, I said, I know. When you live out in the country and the sunset, it really spoils you the difference between sitting outside at my city house looking out, is like this. You're not going to get the view. Okay, I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. And we're not rich, so you can't afford to have a house that's not seen from the road. But eventually, that's the plan, right? Everybody, so you can become wealthy and just live up on the hill, and you're so far from the road, right? Our house is something you can't find. That's the whole song. It's over. The song is over right there. That's the end goal, right? That's the first world goals. Is that what you're doing? This person was staring at the sunset, and he sees this, what he called a dragon. He tells his mom, he goes, I saw a dragon flying. And no, this guy's not, he's a normal guy. Not a vivid imagination. He's an engineer now, or he's working towards being an engineer. And he said he sees it flying. And then one night he was outside, he was smoking his cigar, and he has a dog that he walks outside, and his name is like Maxwell or something. Oh, no, wait. That's the other dog's name.
Maxwell?
Yes. I was trying to remember the name of the dog. That's the dog's name. I just said it right there. His dog had a name too, like Starling or something like that. But anyway, he's like, his dog is a bulldog. And she said the dog's name, like something, I don't know, Socrates or something. Anyways, the other dog, his name was Maxwell. That was the dog that got into the fight. And I made a joke about to the client that, hey, Maxwell, he sounds like a gentleman. Did he pull off a glove and slap the other dog? It's not funny what happened. I'm not laughing. I'm just saying if that did happen, that would be funny. But this is, that was ridiculous. But he says, look, he goes, I'm outside with whatever the dog's name is, just, his little bulldog, and the dog starts growling and walking in circles, and then it freaks out and it runs and goes under the house, which it never does. It goes under the deck. He's like, and then I hear this. He goes, I don't have a flashlight, and it's pitch dark out there, but I could see something moving around, blocking the stars. And then something came and landed on the trees. And he goes, and I could see the canopy going, like pushing down. So he's like, what am I looking at? I don't know. It's like a large amorphous shape, but it's kind of humanoid, because I saw like a body, like a skinny body, but there were these humongous wings. And so it's sitting up on top of the treetops. He goes, so I get scared. He goes, my plan was to retrieve my dog and go run inside and grab a flashlight and come back out with a firearm and be looking up there at the treetop. But it didn't work out that way. He goes, I go inside and I'm too damn scared to come back out. So I'm standing out the window looking out the treetop. He goes, and meanwhile, my dog would not come out from underneath the deck. So I figured he's safe. He goes, and then I go around to the other side of the house because I thought I saw it move. He goes, and then I realized that it didn't move. There was something else that must have been a shadow or something. So it took his attention away from the front, and he went to go follow where it went. But then he hears something land on the deck, which scares the crap out of him because his dog is underneath the deck. So then he has to go back. And now this is Christmas time. This one is Christmas time. So he goes back to the front. There's nothing there. He goes, he sticks his head underneath the deck, sees his dog. The dog comes to him. He grabs it, goes back inside, and crisis averted. Then months and months later, months go by, and then there's this incident that happens with his mother. The first time he saw this being was in August. That was when he saw it at the sunset. And he thinks it's the same thing. Then it was the Christmas sighting. And then his aunt had the incident where somebody tried to grab her. And the aunt lives like right down the road from them. They live right down the road from one another. So something was in that area. Something was up in the tree. Something was on the deck. So if I told that right, so it would have been, he would have seen the same December, he would have seen the creature, or they would have had the incident with the dog. So that was, I think, a couple weeks before his aunt. So that would have been early December, first week of December. And then she had the incident that happened, day before Christmas Eve or 2 days before Christmas Eve, whatever it was. Last minute shopping. And she almost gets snatched up and drug away. So there are people who will tell you that none of this is connected, that it doesn't have anything to do with December. But yet, when I said, why does it happen in December? A bunch of my listeners here, a bunch of my listeners, y'all all said different reasons that were almost the same, just in different words. It's darker for longer, right?
Mm-hmm.
People are moving around more because it's Christmas time and they're seeing things. But there's also this sort of like energy that comes with the winter of it being dark, because a lot of these beings, these predatory or parasitic beings, they come out at night in the dark. That's when they do what they do. Right?
Yeah.
Couple more months, I'm gonna be working with my shirt off. Yeah, I've been asked to be at Chippendale. I accepted.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna be hard for y'all, family, to take, but I'm one of the beautiful people now.
It's gonna be like the Chris Farley Chippendale.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Except I'm gonna be not him. I'm gonna be Patrick Swayze.
Oh, okay.
Already told you.
Didn't see that.
That's
coming.
who I play, and then keep it up.
Mm-hmm.
Keep chirping.
Okay. We'll see.
So I'm just letting y'all know that next year's Christmas cards are going to be me all buff and with nothing on, but a loincloth.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. So pre-order your sexy Josh calendars now. All right. Or be sorry. And there's people probably never seen the show like, is this guy serious? Hell no, I'm not serious. Are you freaking crazy, man? I take pictures like this. You ever see people do that? Like they're like this. There's like this subsect of redneck
Yeah.
that does this.
Yeah. It's like every single person I've seen take a picture like that, they're like a redneck. But it's
I ain't
like
doing nothing. I'm just being a redneck. I saw a saber-tooth tiger. I'm just kidding, folks. You didn't really see a saber-tooth tiger. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, because, I mean, well, people call me a city boy. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I was raised out in the country, man. And I'm from Texas. You want one? Way to go. No catching ass. I'm from Texas, folks, which if I remind you, I am a son of the South. They're like, he hates white people. He hates Southerners. He hates black people. He hates whatever. I don't know. I was saying I hate somebody.
You don't believe in Jesus.
What?
You don't believe?
Well, I don't believe the way they believe.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're wrong. This is the truth. Can I help you? I'm supposed to eat one of those a day because it's Manuka honey. And my honey's over here eating them like they're candy. This is the problem right here. Can't have my own vittles. I have to be. Where did that even come from?
Vittles?
Yeah.
The word vittles?
Yeah, vittles.
Oh, it's
Is that
veal,
supposed to be like
veal
a
and
play on vitamins or something?
squiddles or
I
something?
never
I've
understood.
never
That.
even heard of that.
You never heard of vittles? Folks, raise your hand if you haven't heard of vittles, and you'll be completely ignored because we can't see you. But go ahead and say it on there if you've heard of vittles. Does anybody
Type
not
of
know what
V for vittles.
you don't know what vittles are?
They could just use a little hand emoji.
Vittles, folks. Vittles. We're talking about vittles here.
Oh look, I have. Maddie had.
Two shadows. Thank you, Two Shadows. At least somebody's heard of the shit, and not just me going vittles, 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 riddles. I type scribbles. You know, people. What are you doing? Nobody knows what the hell you're saying.
Well, look at all the
You're a crazy
nevers.
person. Yes, I have heard of vittles. You should know. Somebody said it vittles, like Alto, not like Skittles. I'm DJ Vittles. Oh. I would think DJ Vittles would do something like this.
Maddie thought it was a tick.
That's DJ Vittles right there. that's how you would operate. Right? What song would he be jamming to?
Sides.
The Funk Phenomena. The Funk Phenomena. Put the needle on the record. Put the needle on the record. Put the needle on the record. When my hat comes, my eyes like Vittles. Vittles, folks. Vittles. I'm saying it. You don't know what that is. It pertains to food, yes, because Scorpion, although Hispanic, he does understand the southern atmosphere that we're from. Well,
He's a Mexican southerner.
yeah.
So-
Scorpion's the only Mexican I ever knew. When I first met him, he was wearing like a Confederate flag shirt. But he was hanging out with Kenny. So what do you expect? And he comes up there and he's like, yeah, we'd like to get jobs. I'm like, oh, cool. I don't give a shit. I mean, you know, it's whatever, man. You know, whatever makes your choo-choo run, bro. I'm not one of those people. Let's tear all the statues down because they represent evil honkies. Man, that's ridiculous. You think it's going to change anything by doing that?
Vittles, please. Paratroopers are funny.
Somebody says victuals. It's spelled victuals. No, you never watched the Beverly Hillbillies?
Victuals?
No.
What's that?
I don't know.
Are you trying to confuse me over there?
No, that's what's his name said. No, what I'm talking about, two different things. What I'm saying is vittles.
Mhm.
Because Jed Clampett would be like, oh, Granny's making vittles.
Yeah, vittles.
You never heard them called vittles?
Yeah,
That's what they
I have.
call these, like, hillbilly people. They call them vittles. Like here in Texas, we never
It's
called
like
it vittles.
fixins.
Yeah, nobody ever said fixins or vittles here. They'd say supper. And then yontu.
We've heard supper.
Yontu?
They call it supper.
You ought to stay for supper. Yontu? Y'all
Oh.
called it supper too?
Mhm.
Supper?
So it was supper, dinner, whatever.
Well, we didn't say dinner. We said supper.
No, we
You gonna
use
stay for supper?
All sorts of words because
Go wash up.
worsh up.
Go wash up. You go wash your filthy hands and ass. Get out of here. Go wash. You know? Man, it
86.
was
What? Fixins?
fixins and vittles and fiddles and ha 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 ha. It's whatever, man. You know, when I was young, we were just it was we believed as kids everything was possible. But as you get a little bit older, you're like, no, I don't believe in monsters. I don't believe in this. I don't see this crazy stuff, whatever. But then you run into it when you're 15, then it changes everything. And the country people were like, yeah, we've been living out here for 30, 40, 50, however many years. Since the Younger Dryas, we've been living out here. The last ice age. And we've never seen anything. Paul, now what didn't you say you saw that woolly elephant? Oh, that woolly elephant. Oh, yeah, but those are out there though. And you're like, whoa, wait. Mr. Walton, those are extinct. Oh, they are. Huh. I done seen one last Tuesday. Wow.
That's how it happens. Actually,
I seen this. Yeah, I know. I seen this flying lizard thing. I don't know what it was. Had a weird head, big teeth, and big bill. Giant reptile bird. They're about three miles from here. My friend Cletus, he's done shot it and then hung it in his barn. You want to go see it? You want to? Sure. You drive over there in the old Willie's Jeep. Then you get there and you bounce out. Whoa! And you go into the barn, and he goes, "Oh yeah, he's got that too." You see a werewolf head, the abominable snowman,
He's a collector.
literally the white one
Strange.
with the blue hands,
Yeah.
the one from the
The Yeti.
Yukon.
Yeti.
Yeah. what's his name? Cornelius, Yukon Cornelius or whatever. They walk like this. The little, people from the Christmas Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cartoon.
Because Donner and Blitzen, right? Comet and Cupid. Anthony's like, where are we supposed to know the names of these reindeer? 'Twas the night before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And all through the house. No one was stirring but Ike, because he's a louse. He's like, yeah, his stockings he stole by the chimney with care. Yeah. In hopes that cancer wouldn't be near. Yeah. He's sitting there in a kerchief, wearing no socks. Don't know what time it is. He's too dumb to do anything but throw rocks. Anyways, reindeer showed up. He went outside. He came out blasting. Santa was like, "Oh, better get the hell out of here." And Krampus is like, "That's my job. There's nothing for you here, Santa. Let me deal with this man." Or Black Peter. Bag of coal. Upside your head. Because you're bad. You can't be bad, kids. You're bad. Drugs are bad. Drugs are bad for you. Don't do that. Don't do it. Say no to drugs. I want to get you a bag of coal now. Isn't that what they do?
Mm-hmm.
Black Peter and Krampus, they beat the shit out of you with a bag of coal or something like that. They do, right? That's what they do.
I thought they put you in a bag and beat you with
Well, there's
a
different
stick.
versions of it, but I like the bag of coal one better. It kind of reminds me of jail.
I could have sworn
Soccer
Krampus
lock.
put the bad kids in a bag and then beat them and just drown them.
Oh, there's different. There's
I
different.
thought he
different.
let him go.
And Black Peter would beat them with a what do you call it, a switch.
Mhm.
He'd put them in the bag and beat them in the bag, and then throw bricks on top of them or pieces of rock or something. That's horrible.
Oh man.
Yeah, should have been behaving in your past life too, you little dickheads. Yeah, pretty bad. But we're going to talk about that on Christmas. That's a joyful Christmas Eve. Krampus and Santa Claus. And I'll give you one Santa story before we go here. Look,
Do you have any elf stories?
Elf.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
Gotta add those in there too.
but I mean for Christmas, that's a whole thing by itself. The ripe, jolly old elves. So the one that was told to us, that dude Matt, that one was a very interesting story. But I got one. There was a lady, her, if I remember her name correctly, it was Lucille, but she told us a crazy story. When she was young, she was living up in New Hampshire. And that's where her parents were very well off, and she was by her own admission, she was spoiled. And they were at a vacation home down in North Carolina. And so they went down there for Christmas one year, and she was like, because I was 9 years old, I had 3 brothers, and I was the only girl, and I was daddy's little girl, and I got whatever I wanted. She's like, my dad even bought me a pony, like a lot of girls, like, I want a pony, and he did. He bought her one. And her mother was always like, you're so spoiled, whatever. But she's like, when my mom and dad divorced, and I went to go stay with my mother, she used it as a bargaining chip. I got whatever mom wanted through, till my dad figured it out. It's like, hey, Dad, can we get a new dishwasher? Dad's like, what? What kid wants that? Why do you even know about that? Well, because mom's making me wash the dish. Oh, okay. Mom's full of shit. But, she told me, she's like, when I was a kid, she's like, and she's like, 60 years old now. She's 59. She had an encounter with what I would say would be Santa Claus. But there again, we don't know what Santa Claus is. We don't know. It's a million different, is St. Chris, we don't know who he is. There's a bunch of different names. St. Nicholas. It could be anything. It could be anybody.
Mhm.
And there's even like a debate about the roots of Santa Claus. Some people believe that Santa Claus was created by Viking descended people through the Amanita muscara mushroom. But the red caps that actually are supposedly his helpers, right?
Hence the red hat.
The red hats, yeah, and they're just representative of the mushroom,
Oh.
you know, and that Saint Nick would bring you good fortune, you know, but he was like a mushroom god or whatever.
Well, through mushrooms, they're all interconnected. They probably interconnect to us somehow.
Well, I mean, everything is connected. That's an absolute.
See? There you go.
Thank you for the donation. Thank you for becoming members. Before we go any further with the story, who has not won? Come on, guys. If you're in green, tell me if you have not won the giveaway. You're the first ones we'll go to.
There we go, Alan Howell.
Alan House, send us your name and your shirt size and your
Address.
There you go. There's another one. Rome 1085. I have never won. Okay, you win too. Send us your information.
Shirt size.
Of course, it'll be after Christmas when we mail out because we can't get it done right now. But for sure, you'll get your stuff.
Shirt size, address. What else?
So, shirt size. That's one. PRT News hasn't won. Should win an Oscar for the sleuthing. This one here becoming a PI. Should I tell them that?
Yeah, you can. You
She's
let 'em
working
know
towards her
everything.
PI license. Because she does such a good job of this stuff. It's just
It's easy.
I don't have time to worry about what these shit people do or whatever. They got the worst mouths. Like they look very unhealthy and unclean. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Like they
hence
look
the
like their
oyster mouth.
teeth and they're like they don't like they've never even seen a toothbrush.
They look like if they.
Like if you showed it to them, they'd be like they don't even know what it is. Like it's like, oh, what is that?
Komodo mouth. If they bite you, you'll
Komodo
choose them
dragon,
dead.
man. Like what? Like they look like you can smell the halitosis through the screen of the TV. You're like, oh,
It looks like a rotten clam talking at you.
it's gross. It's horrible. I mean, I'm not joking, man. That's parasitic. There's parasites in you that cause that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's what they're rolling around in you, dude. Or
Yep.
dudettes. There's a couple of them that are. I mean, you
Gross.
could be from the country, but you still know what a damn toothbrush is. I mean, I knew what a toothbrush was as a
You're
child.
not that country. I
Get
mean,
some Listerine or something. It's not just for drinking, you know. You can use it to take or vodka, whatever it is that y'all moonshine, whatever you're doing, whatever it is you're
Baking soda.
mainlining, use it in your mouth. Don't rub the meth in there, stupid. I know that's what you're doing right now. Oh, you're trying to use it. Conspiracies. Send us money. Send me money. Send me money. Mama, give me a Christmas kiss.
Ew.
Come here, sister wife. Don't worry, my high priest is gonna get you. She's gonna eat you. This is like when I think I see Fat Albert. Hey. See what we can say about Josh Turner today, sucker bitch. It's like, dude, holy crap, man. Every time I see, he's bigger. Like, holy fuck, Grimace? He was wearing purple the other day. I said, oh, look at Grimace. Oh, that's that girl who hates me.
I start talking about Josh when I want to. Bad from a dope being bitch.
From those anti-cross heretic mother butter rucker. Had to that last part I had to censor it. Fuddruckers used to be a burger place. Guess what? Can be used as a bad word now. I give you permission. Discuss that amongst yourselves. Sorry, what were we talking about?
I don't know.
Anyways, the woman, she saw Santa Claus. She claims when she was a kid, she's like, we were vacationing. She goes, and I literally, she's like, unless it was the greatest hallucination ever. She's like, I was coming down the stairs and started talking to her because she had a story about a haunted house, but it was that vacation home down in North Carolina.
Mhm.
And she goes, I didn't like talking about it. She goes, because the Santa Claus looked just like Santa Claus, and he was messing with the presents, and my mom and dad would leave the milk and cookies. She goes, and I would go run down there and I'd wait, and my parents knew, so they would wait even longer. And then I wondered why they weren't getting up at 6 a.m. to go downstairs. They're like exhausted because they had to wait until I would go to bed because my dad he spoiled her. It was his little girl, whatever. And the mom was just like, oh, well, you know, after 3 boys, she was insane. She had a daughter and she was like, oh, now you're here. But, you know, she's already like, I'm trying to finish my book. The toilet has exploded. And one of them has poured Legos in a booby trap by the dishwasher. We need a new one. So, like, you know, her mom was frazzled by the time she was born. She was like, my parents were crazy. They always do that too. You're the baby. Like, you're the youngest. You don't deserve that. You know, that's what my brother did to me. You ever seen Fist of the North Star, the cartoon?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what he did to me. He just came in there. He's like, you're the youngest. You don't deserve to be Fist. He started hitting me in the head with a gun. I was like, stop it. You're acting like a fool. Then I got up and I was like, I hit him like 1,000 times. We called him Jaggy back then. Jaggy. I was Ken.
Lord Jaggy.
Ken Shiro. Not Ken Gerhard. Ken Shiro, a real superhero. Not a guy that just looks for creatures. I kick their ass. I'm sure Ken would too if he could find them. But he actually, if anybody is actually doing real work for true cryptids, it's him.
Ken Gerhardt.
Yep.
Yep.
Everybody else is just like, they kind of are, but then they kind of don't care. Like Ken is actually doing it because he believes. Him and Ryan Edwards really believe in what they're doing. There's a few of them. And then the rest are it's just a damn grift. They don't give a shit. So many conferences I can go to and be condescending.
Some people need to look up that word. They're using it wrong.
Yeah, they don't know what a grift is. You're a grifter. So, you know, she says I'm in there and I'm looking and I see Santa Claus, but the thing that was messed up about Santa Claus, she goes, he had a devil's tail. And I was like, what is a devil's tail to you? She said, literally like the quintessential devil, like he had the red tail, kind of like a prehensile tail, but with a triangle on the end of it. It was black. And he was whipping around. And she said that when Santa turned his face sideways, he was eating the food. His face was red.
But Santa
with a
had
black
a tail.
beard, and he had pointy ears like an elf. And she's like, I ran upstairs so fast. And I told her, I said, Lucille, that wasn't Santa.
Wait.
Change the letters around.
Did it leave anything there?
Yeah, actually, she said he did. Like there was like this bluish like algae crap that was kind of on the table and on some of the gifts. True story is what she said. You know, somebody said sounds like Krampus. Could have been with Krampus wearing a red suit, but the skin being red with the black beard. You know, I don't know. Maybe it was Black Peter. But I told her, I was like, and I was only kind of half joking about this. And I was like, were you bad? I mean, Lucille, were you bad? Did you do bad things? She said, oh, yeah. She's kind of, no offense to you, by her own admission, she's kind of hippy dippy. She did say that. She is a Christian, though. She's a born again Christian, but she's like, I was hippy dippy. You know, I kind of thought everybody was a good person, you know, and I didn't really, you know, she's like, my mom was like, people are not nice. They're not good. You need to stop with this crap, you know, being everybody's got a good heart at their core. No, they do not.
No, they don't.
Trust me, they don't. There's a couple of them just that are getting pissed off right now while I'm speaking. And all they're doing is taking screenshots and thinking of a way to
timestamps.
Yeah, so they can go run to their channel and talk crap. Nobody cares. And then all 50 of his followers will fall up and go, yeah, you're great. You're the best. Let's throw tomatoes at that guy. Have you heard what he said? No, we're just listening to what this full of shit guy says. That's why we hate him. Let's kill him. You want to?
Oh, they're talking about that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. They've been doing it for a while. A lot of people have told me this.
Some Jay Boyles.
You know, they're always saying things like, oh, we're getting all this information from people. No, we really are. We really are, because what you're doing and saying, people are alarmed by it. Folks, these people are actually talking about killing me.
Yep. And not just like with their spells or whatever. Mm-hmm. They're talking about actually coming and unaliving him.
And killing me. Because They've convinced people that I'm the rottenest thing ever. So, I mean, let's face it, if somebody wants to kill you, they're going to kill you. You don't have to be like, you can be on high alert all you want. I mean, even if you're on high alert 100% of the time, head on a swivel, there's still going to be moments where you're not. And even if you do that, you still can't stop it. So if they get a Yahoo who's dumb enough and stupid enough to believe they're the shite, the absolute, crap that they're spewing, then yeah.
The FBI already has all of their names.
Yep.
So
they do, but that's not going to stop
everybody
them
that I
from,
had their phone numbers and stuff, I gave that to them too.
Yep. Not going to stop the people from
Screenshots.
doing what they're going to do in the interim.
No, I know.
The FBI can't resuscitate me, because they've got mentally ill people
Yep. They
that
sure
are
do.
crazy. They're damn crazy. They don't know the difference between right, wrong, or reality. Some of these people.
Yep. James Gray had no idea. He threatened your life with a police officer on the phone.
Didn't
They got
care.
that too.
And didn't care. And still
Mm-mm.
tries calling us.
Called last night.
They don't stop. They don't sleep. They're like Terminators. And they don't work. I'm convinced if they would just absolutely get a job, you'd be tired. The reason that Ike is the way he is because he doesn't work, folks. He does not work. So think about it. If all you have to do is roll out of bed at 4 p.m. every day, and then just start, what do you do with your time all day? You have time to dedicate to this. This is a part-time thing for me. This is their life. So all they do is focus on you and whoever they're at war with, and focus on, being, evil, naughty. They're on the naughty list big time. And they're going to just, focus all their energy on their shows and whatever lies they're going to spew and whatever hatred they're going to. And so you have these people who know damn well what he is. They know who he is. They know all about him because they were on our side during the war. And then they run and crawl up his ass because they hate me now. Because you couldn't have control. Because you couldn't dictate to me. And it's never going to happen. You're never going to have control. You're never going to dictate to me. I don't give a damn if you donate $1 million. You can control that other fool, but you give him money. But you're not going to control me. I don't need you. You're not going to have power over me. So I just sit back and watch you commit the most egregious of sins against my friends because you bought and paid for me. Never going to happen, dude. Sorry. Not sorry. So go ahead. Go hang out with those people. Because now the guy has nobody that's going to check him or do anything. So he's making 1,000 accounts. That's what he does. And he keeps talking about it's all going to come out. I wish you had whatever you have. Take it to the police. Do me the favor, please. Do it. Stop talking about it and do what you got to do. So
Take it to the FBI.
We hope it all
Take it to
comes
the
out. We
police.
want it to all come out.
Oh,
The difference
yeah.
between you and me is we want it to.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wonder what's all going to come out on January 2nd, 11 a.m. at Rogers County
February.
Courthouse.
February.
No, it's January 2nd.
Is it?
Yep, January 2nd, 11 a.m., Rogers County Courthouse in front of Judge Landers. Be there or be square or maybe in jail. I don't know. I wonder what's going to come out when, when you have that other court date. Because that's your next one, right? 11 o'clock, January 2nd, Judge Landers, Rogers County Courthouse. Don't be late. Make sure. I wonder what's going to come out then. I wonder what that'll be the big show. Maybe. I don't know. Or maybe they'll keep playing around and pushing
Remember,
it back
he's
to court date.
156th, whatever.
Just say yes, Your Honor. No, Your Honor. Brush your teeth.
Don't give him
watch
any
yourself.
points. Let him
let
him hang. Like, let him do what he's got
Make
to
sure
do.
make sure you look good when you're lying to Judge Landers. That's all I'm
Don't
saying.
even just go looking like you normally do. Fall out of bed. Do what you got to do. The skin tags on your eyes and all the other nasty shit that you got going on. Get mad. He's gonna make a big show about me. I'm just gonna say this. This is just a bunch more stuff. It's the same thing as about. I done told you the whole show right there. You ain't got to go watch it. Josh turn. You're worshiping me, dude. You're worshiping. You're committing idolatry by a negative worship, folks, all of y'all. They're doing these things. You think that you're being negative or whatever, but you're okay with it. But what you're doing is you're worshiping someone, because when you put that much time and energy and effort into somebody, you're giving them your energy. That's what you're doing. And there's a bunch of y'all doing it. I'm not talking about the paratroopers here. I'm talking about these reprobates. And it's hilarious to see, because I am the center of your world. So what would they have in common if I was gone? Do you think you would take the paranormal cryptid community by storm, and that everybody would just start watching your chum bucket, and they would love it?
All of a sudden, you'd become interesting. No, it's not
Here at the
happening.
chum bucket, we do real boots on the ground. Here, have some of our delicious fish eyes. Nobody's eating your slop. Nobody. But you just keep on, dude. You're just wicked as all hell. I don't know. Maybe Krampus should have paid you a visit when you were a kid and beat the shit out of you. Maybe you'd change.
Because all they're bigger fans than we are.
They are. They are the biggest folk. If you could see the things that they say and type and do, it is unbelievable.
Oh, you will.
Yeah, there's a bunch of it. There's a lot of it. Pages. They hang out in these groups and they say things, and then some of them get disgusted with one another, and they come and they tell me, they go, look, I'm sorry, but this is what they're doing, because it's nasty. It's shame on you. I mean, you're literally plotting and scheming 24/7 to destroy people. It's character assassination. It's incriminating. And now you're okay with people casting spells, people trying to kill me. You're condoning all of this. That's what you're doing. So just remember, folks, I told you that this is what they were doing, and they're doing it. Jinkies, member for 5 months. Thank you for being a member. Yes, Tony, it's disgusting behavior. I'm just, I got to protect us. And folks, I'm telling you the truth, man. These people are wanting to do something to us. We have proof. Trust me. It's not, a hearsay. There's people that have woke up and said, hey man, y'all are taking this too far. Once you start talking about murder, I think it's time for I really would like you not to. Because you don't know how it's going to play out. I don't want to have to defend myself, and I don't want you to have to go to prison. Either one of us. But obviously you're not going to stop. You're going to keep up with your bullshit. I've never called on anyone to hurt you. I've never plotted in a scheme with anyone to hurt any of you. That's a lie. If you sit there and say that I have, you're lying through your freaking rotted teeth. The stuff that y'all are doing is disgusting. It's not fit for animals. In fact, I have more respect for animals than you. And they keep saying these attacks. What attacks? What attacks? Besides what y'all have done to us. What attacks? You've endured attacks? When? When have I gone to any of your channels and said anything to y'all? And I don't go to Reddit. I don't have a Reddit. I don't mess with that. I know there's a bunch of shit on there. I don't care. Christmas time, folks. Christmas time is a time where we should put aside our petty wants and grievances and everything else. Put it aside. Then I'm not even going to talk to these people, and I'm not going to appeal to you anymore or try to make amends with you anymore. The more you say now, the better. Because maybe once and for all, people will see what you're doing, and the right people will react the way they're supposed to. Because what you're doing is criminal. And you keep doing it. So keep it up. But the rest of you, the normal people, you guys, I think Christmas time, you should look at it as a chance, as an opportunity to do things for people that you normally wouldn't do. Be giving. This year sucked for us. This is the first year we have not been able to be as giving as normal, as usual. It's just things aren't the way that we would like them to be. But we're still going to do what we can. We're going to do everything we can to try to help people. We do it every year. It's part of what makes my year. If my year goes by and I'm not able to do that, then I feel like I don't feel fulfilled. I've only had 1 year that I can remember in the last 30 years where I was not able to give to anybody. And I remember that 1 year. So I was in between jobs for real. I know people say that, stupid crap like that. But I really was. And back then, there were lots of people that could go work. So you did have to compete with people for a job. It's not like it is now. There were jobs just falling out of trees. You could be walking down the street and a job will fall and hit you. Oh, hey, it's a job. People are running away from jobs. Like if it was a commercial, there'd be like this huge pack of people running across a bridge chasing a person.
Mhm.
And all those people would wear shirts that say jobs. And they would have like a Gen Zer or a, what's it called? What's your generation?
Millennial.
A millennial running away. Hey, man, get away from me, Jobs. Go away, Jobs. We don't want you, man. I want to get disability and not work and do cryptid shows, throw rocks and pretend like it's Bigfoot. Jobs are horrible. Jobs will kill you. Work too hard. Your heart just gives out. That's what they think a job is, I guess, probably, right?
Pretty much.
Drill ye terriers drill. Oh, you work all day for the sugar and you pay down behind the railway. Drill ye terriers drill and box and I can't do all that. That's too much. No. You just security. You just sit on your ass. Yeah, that's kind of gonna be hard. I got a boil on my ass, size of Texas. Can't do it. Sorry. Well, what do you do all day? Well, I make fake accounts and I sleep a lot and eat a lot of peanut butter and jellies. My mommy lives with me and she cuts the crust off for me. It's pretty cool. That's a real sleek look. It's going to catch on. I like it. And you're like, hey, what about work? Ooh, you keep bringing that up, man. The sharp stabbing pain right in wherever my heart is at. It's hitting there close to the aortic and arteries and stuff. Don't talk about that. You keep bringing that up. But oh, I could use the word job. Job. Ooh. That's the one book in the Bible I didn't read because of the word. I don't know what happened to that man, Job. I go blind when I look at the name. What about unemployment? Now you're talking.
Yeah.
Where do I get that at? That entails not working and scamming the government, right? Yes. Okay, I'm all on that one. Let's go. Let's jump. Let's do it. Let's roll. Let's roll. Woo. Let's do it. Instead of the Paw Patrol, he's the Pause Patrol. Hey, we're going to go ahead and put that on pause. Go eat some chicken wings. I'm going to be a fat fuck, and I'm going to talk about other people being fat. I'm going to hurt women and children and talk about other people hurting women and children. I'm going to be the biggest troll on the internet and call everybody a troll. Yes, sir. Ike Clanton at your service. I'm going to tell you something. You and the Earps over there, Doc Holliday, we get this dirt off my neck. I had a bird shit on me the other day. Clutching with my cologne a little bit. Picking his teeth. Yeah. Government spam. Good. Almost as good as that government cheese in Biddles. Lord Ike, the fat one, is here to report. All right, come on in, priestess. What you got for me? My Lord. God, it smells it. Ooh. My Lord. Okay. Oh, be me too. I have news. Some of our rabid, ridiculous, made-up, make-believe fans are giving us more ridiculous, made-up, make-believe information. The Bear King will die. Oh, I know he's going to die. He's going to go to prison for what I did. And then I'm going to sue him for $86 million. That's what's going to happen. Tell the 50 listeners we got left. It's on. I got more information than ever before. I got Fluffy Fluffington helping me. I got Crazy Larry, the cosplayer of the LBL, all together. There's like 37 of us. We are on. You may go. Don't keep coming through my walls. I only got one left. She's like, oh yeah. Thank you. Coming through the wall, that debris and shit falling down everywhere.
May I have a bug, my lord?
Fat ass bitch. Keep walking through the wall like that. I ain't gonna have no walls left. I don't live in a trailer. Oh, damn it.
Huh?
May I have a bug, my lord?
Hey, he's right here.
I hunger.
Hey, brother, did you see what he was saying? He's been talking about us, man. It's ridiculous shit, man. Yeah. What happened to those crazy people, them cannibalistic cousins you're supposed to shoot them dead in the street? Why is he still alive talking? This LBL ain't going to sell itself. I got to go. Right? And you got, hey, you know, hey, you know, baggage. They're like in a meeting, they're like, can someone shut him off, please? He's malfunctioning again. Like, oh, sorry.
Oh, he's still talking about the Leviathan around.
It's
your
Fluffy.
neck.
He's like,
Okay, for the off-page.
I could barely turn him off. Oh my god. He malfunctioned a lot. I don't know what to do. Then they're like, well, you could lose weight, huh? Oh, okay. You try being fat like this, huh? Try it. That's why I can only get one girlfriend in my life, dude.
It's genetic. It's not my fault.
His name was Bob.
I have a thyroid condition. It's not my fault.
Causes me to act weird.
Diets don't work.
And I go to people that I said I hate. Now I love them.
I tried diets for like 2-3 hours. It didn't work.
Blood in, blood out, Holmes. You speak Spanish? No. Why do you talk like that? It's a genetic condition. It's a thyroid problem. I got the tortilla chin and the guacamole hips. The tostada breasts. Watch it. I want to get arrested for indecent exposure. My cousin Chalupa, it happened to him. This is the pack of ghouls trying to fight the mighty PRT. Come on, boys. Let's bring it in. Let's hug it out. Come on, let's hug it out. Let all lost wages be for. Oh, wait, what? No, that's not Christmas. That is New Year's. That is for New Year's, folks. My New Year's resolution to make fun of you less. I'm a liar, my pants on fire. I'm going to make fun of you as much as always. You know I can't help it. As long as my people suffer, my great-great-grandpa, Juan Valdez, woke up every morning in the early Columbia morning to pick only the freshest damn bean for you evil honkies. And now, me, Juan Pablo Pizarro Cortez, Josue Pablo Turner, will get my revenge. Bring my 6-finger glove, because you know I am the Nephilim. And I follow. What is the guy's name? What is the one that they? No, there's one that they call me. This. Gosh dang! What is the one they say I worship?
Oh, the Leviathan.
Leviathan. I call upon Leviathan.
Which
Leviathan. My cousin. That's Leviathan. Antonio. Leviathan.
Hey, Levi, your mama, she calling your man.
Hey, Levi. What are you doing? Hey, siéntate. Calm down. Cámate. Oh, really? Is that bad, huh? Nobody's worshiping you? Nobody worshiping you, Levi?
That's why you should have called when your mama calls you, man.
Yeah, when we call you, you should be answering the phone. Now you're playing around over there. Riding around on your burro, picking the beans. Baboso. Órale. Are you coming to Christmas? Hi. Okay. Feliz Navidad. Okay. Ay, está bueno. Is that how that conversation went?
Precisely.
Levi Antonio. I wear his jeans. You see that Levi on there? That stands for Levi Antonio. The deadliest pistol in the West, they say. Levi Antonio. Ah, me and my friends, Satanico. Ha ha ha. You to shoot them up. The drones. You want to mess with me, drones? I say hello to my little friend. Pop, 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 pop. Damn. You know, I thought this air compressor would work better than this. I stole it for no reason. Look at this.
Pinche nail gun.
Pinche nail gun I should have used. Get Dennis! What's wrong with you? I am the dogman whisperer is evolved to become like a man. And you silly Christians, you mock me with your silly stupidness, el stupidos. Yeah. But no fear. I will join with my other friends, my allies.
I like to go out to the woods to look for dog mans, but only with other mans. I don't like the woman being out there with me, man.
They're creepy. They're creepy.
I like being alone in the woods with the mans.
With the mains.
Only mans.
Leviathan. Leviathan is the beast. He's the bestest beast ever.
He likes big beasts. And
I thought Leviathan was like the beast of the ocean. Like it was
it
the.
is.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's not. It's more than the beast of the ocean. I know that it's like Satanists use it as like it represents the South. Is that
know.
true?
I don't know.
I don't really know. I know
which
that.
necklace is he talking about?
How do I know?
The-
I don't know.
They're talking about the Sailor's Cross necklace because they don't know the difference between the Sailor's Cross and the sigil of Leviathan. They're two distinctly
the
different
sigil of
things.
Leviathan, though. We looked it up. It doesn't look anything like the Sailor's Cross.
No, they're just stupid.
But it's funny because they had somebody on their page that was talking, and he actually does worship him.
Hmm.
There was a real one on there
Chris Anderson.
who was all like, "Hell, Leviathan!" Like literally, they say these things, but then they have people who actually do that shit.
Oh yeah, it was on his show. Remember he said "hail"?
Yeah.
The S word.
I was like, "Holy crap, dude! These people are out of their damn minds." I don't worship no Leviathan. That reminds me of that Viacom. You know, it sounds evil as shit. You know,
Yeah.
you see some of the Redstone Viacom. You know, he looks like Mr. Burns from
Yeah.
the Simpsons. The elitist. He's like, okay, Viacom recording, 1984. Take one. Viacom. Great. Nailed it on the first time, Palpatine. Thank you. No problem. Then they just used it forever. Because he owned Viacom, which owned MTV. It owned all these different, like you see it on the Transformers and G.I. Joe at the end of the cartoon. And it says on there, it's like Viacom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sumner Redstone. Evil old vampire bat.
Hmm.
So, anyways, folks, you know, I just thought we'd bring some humor and talk some shit and, you know, whatever. With it, exactly, Chris. You got them old damn Anunnakis, you know what I'm saying? You know, run down the store, you know what I'm trying to, you know, give us an Ace Hardware, them Anunnakis is in the way. Couldn't even get my sheetrockers. Like, what are you doing, Anunnakis? Get out of here. You don't talk about it, don't stink. You don't do the Anunnakis. Get out of here. Come on. You ain't gonna do it, man. And I don't know why I would ever worship Leviathan. That's some dumb shit right there, dude. Why would you worship that dude? And he's like a monster. It's a demon. It's a
Mhm.
crown prince, I think, or what is the way that they're using it, but I think it's like a monster because like
Yeah, like a sea monster.
yeah, in the Bible, I mean, it talks about Leviathan. He's like a sea creature.
Mhm.
What's crazy though is Leviathan is not talked down upon by the God of the Old Testament.
He says that I can't remember where it was, but it's something about he has love for the Leviathan and the Behemoth,
The behemoth, yeah.
and that's something I never actually studied. I just remember seeing it.
Yeah, but I think there's another one that may talk about them struggling against one another, the Leviathan and the Behemoth.
Mhm.
But I think that Leviathan actually means Leviathan is like I think it's another, like they use it like it's some sort of like not demon. It's more than that. It's like an archon, but it's like it represents the South,
Mhm.
I believe, which could just be down.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So in the Bible on Psalm 104:26, which says, "There go the ships and Leviathan that you formed to sport in it." This verse suggests that God created Leviathan to play in the sea, reflecting the joy that God takes in creation. That's the explanation of Psalm 104.
Yeah, I know. I've never really looked much into the Leviathan, but I just know that.
Neither have I. I'm gonna have to.
Well, apparently those idiots haven't either, because if they did, they wouldn't think of Sailor's Cross as the Leviathan Cross.
I thought they were talking about my boar tusk.
Well,
No, I'm pretty sure it was a Sailor's Cross.
yeah. Well, Isaiah 27, it says, "In that day the Lord with his severe sword, great and strong, will punish Leviathan, the fleeing serpent, Leviathan, that twisted serpent."
What is that? The New Testament?
Isaiah 27.
Okay, Isaiah. Isaiah was the largest book in the entire Bible
Mhm.
at one point. Now I don't know what the hell happened, if it still is or not, because I haven't looked into it, but I know that. Chris Anderson says Leviathan's a sword of chaos, a giant serpent. That's funny because, like, I've not really looked into the Leviathan or the Behemoth. I know that it represents the South, I believe, but they're using it in a way that it's like, I don't know, my brother. What do you have to say about it? D used to be a Satanist.
I don't think he was like into it that deep.
No, but I mean, he knows about that. When God converts people from being like that, that's a very powerful ally because they know the enemy inside and out. Yeah, it's mentioned in Job, Isaiah, and Enoch. Yep, there you go. But I've never really looked much into it. And like, I just thought it was funny that they started saying that. And I don't think they believe it themselves. I think they're just talking smack because they got nothing else to say. You got nothing else to say. Just shut up and go home. Why don't you just go away? There's nothing else to be. There's really nothing else to be said.
Yeah, that's all I can find.
Just a bunch of crap. You're gonna kill me. You're gonna kill me. You're gonna kill me. Whatever, dude. To do what you got to do. Go to prison for the rest of your lives. And if one of y'all does it, then you're all gonna go down. So, but then at least this community will be rid of you, all of you. We've already tried to pin felonies on us. I mean, it's gotten so out of hand, so ridiculous. Anyways, folks, did we get 3 people that got did 3 people
I just
win?
remember Hal and then the new guy. What's his
Yeah,
name?
we need another person here, I think. Come on, guys. If you've won, let me know. If you haven't, and there's somebody that Here, Dave Dylan, you have won. I know you've won. Do we have Here Day's information? Because I could have swore did we mail off to him again?
Yeah, he should have been in the previous round of mail offs.
Here, Day, did you get your stuff? Did you get your stuff?
Never
What the
received
heck?
anything. Send your address again and your shirt size again.
It doesn't make
I'm
sense
sorry about
because we
that.
have
Well,
his
then
information and we gave
what
it to
we
him.
need to do is we need to go and file a claim.
Hmm.
Because if he's not getting his stuff, we've mailed out to that dude 3 times now.
Mm-hmm.
And he's never gotten anything? Holy smokes.
Then somebody's getting it. We keep mailing it off and it just keeps getting taken. You need to file a claim.
Okay.
You can do it
Yeah.
with the annex. You can go up there.
Where
and
does he
talk to him.
live? Like far away or?
No, I'm not gonna say it on here.
Oh.
Okay, so somebody's taking your stuff here, Dave, because we give away stuff to people all the time, and they absolutely get their
We
stuff.
should have it like a signature on that one this
Yeah.
time. Just for him.
Yeah, because we've got a lot of people who've won and gotten their stuff. Now there are some that haven't because they can't receive it. We've had that happen. We have a few people who can't get stuff, and we figured it out the hard way. One person's mail we just could not. I don't know what it was. This package got sent back twice. But the thing is, here, Dave, nothing is getting returned to us from you because usually when
someone's taking it
then somebody's taking it. If you see a neighbor running around wearing a Paranormal Roundtable shirt, I guess you know what happened. Someone's like, "Wow, it fits my size. It's an extra large." It's like, it sucks, man. So I am going to have to do a photo shoot though.
Yeah.
Because I need to update because these people are passing around old photos of me. Like at the conference, I had the belly. I was tired and haggard, and they were taking up close photos of my belly. And they're like, "Look at him. This was 2 years ago. Look at him. He's a fat ass.
That's so weird. Why would they have
He's so hideous. Why would you look at this man? And with this beard, he looks like a goat. He looks terrible. He's a demonicist. He's a Leviathan. Leviathan. Behemothon. Viacom. Whatever. Honestly, don't really know what Leviathanians do. If somebody can send me a how-to so that when I get accused of it, I can point out the fallacies of what they're talking about because I don't have time to go and.
Is that even a religion?
I don't think so. I've never heard of it.
Neither.
I've heard of Satanists using it to invoke like the South.
Yeah, that's weird. The South? What's the South?
I think that's what he is. He's like, no, because down is the South, which is the deep, which is the water, right? And so I believe that they do like an unholy trinity or something. I don't know. And they're not all the same. They're not all the same. And there's probably sitting there watching me saying that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about because I'm not, I've never been in a satanic ceremony. Excuse me, but basically like he represents the South. And then there's another one that's up.
Which
I can't remember his name.
No,
there's another one. And then there's one that's east and west. They represent because Satan is a title.
Oh, the four corners.
Yeah, Satan is a title. And then there's different, but honestly, there's so many different sects of that who knows what. I've seen them worshiping all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, Ace says right there.
And then they'll send me stuff and be like, before I go any further, I'll have you know that I serve, Asmodeus. I'm like, okay, goodbye, click. I'm not going to listen to you.
Had that happen?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like they come out and tell you. Like, yes, I talk to this being, Astaroth, and you're like, okay, goodbye. I don't have time for this shit because, and don't.
That's scary.
And if you're going to make me even madder for trying to trick me, because they've done that too. Type up a whole, essay, and then I read it, and I'm like, are you studying the Kabbalah or something? Like, oh, yes, I practice this. I'm not interested, man. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. It's not my thing, man.
Pathetic. Let's see.
But people have told me that these people, and I don't know if it's true, and I'm not going to spread the rumor that it is. I'll tell you what I know. That I've been under a curse multiple times as of late. They're planning on cursing me again for Christmas as a present. And they've openly talked about this. They're promoting it. They're pushing it. There it is. Satan is the south. Oh, Leviathan is the west. I thought he was the south. Belial is north and Lucifer is the east. And I knew Lucifer was the east. Satan is the south. Okay, because that's down below. Okay, but I thought, why would Leviathan be the west? I don't understand that.
West, off the west
Morgan.
coast is the ocean. What'd you say?
Roaches of the corn. The dude's got a preoccupation with corn and chicken, dude. I mean, I'm telling you, he's weird. I mean, he likes that corn on the cob. What can I say? It's buttery good.
That AI art is so
What
nasty.
AI art? What are you talking about?
The one he uses, the Dirty Roach King. It's so gross.
It's like some
He uses AI art?
Mhm.
It's like AI videos of like what are supposed to be cryptids, but they're just
Oh, God.
so bizarre. It's like a fever
You've
dream.
looked at that?
It's like I've seen it. It's like the color out of space.
Oh,
Just,
dude, I don't even want
ugh.
to know, man.
It's weird, man.
I don't even want to know, dude. That's the thing. I don't look at their shit. I don't know what they're saying over there. I don't give a crap.
It's been said.
People send me stuff, you know, and I appreciate that. They're looking at it. They're looking out. They're trying to keep me
Plymouth
safe,
Puck
and, you
Wedgie.
know. But I mean,
It's said.
inbreeding does create weird people. It does. It
It
really
really
does,
does.
dude. They're freaking weird, dude. Yeah. I don't know. And I, you know what? And I tried being nice. I did. I tried. You know, because at one point, you know, I had a falling out with his sister because I didn't know who was the good guy, who was the bad guy. There's these, you know, both sides are claiming, you know, foul. And she came at me sideways because I said something about their mother, which I shouldn't have said because it was just a rumor and I repeated it. And I apologize for that. You know, more than what they'll do, they'll never apologize for shit. At least
Everything's
I say.
good between us and her.
Yeah. But what ended up happening, I just apologized to her because I didn't know one way or the other
Yeah.
who was the good guy, the bad guy. So when I publicly apologized, he started saying that I was attacking him. I never attacked him.
Mm-mm.
Never said shit about him. He's the one that broke the treaty, not me. But we knew that was going to happen. And his old
We
high
said as soon
priestess,
as we got off the phone.
yeah, his old high priestess even called it. I give it a month. And of course, when you're sitting there casting spells, you know, they're evil. They're a coven, and then they say that they're not. They say that you're the bad guy. They do everything from the communist playbook. They cry out as they strike you. They claim that we're attacking them. The only attacking that's been done is us reposting what you say, or right
That's
here
all
what I'm
we've
doing
done.
right now. You can call this
Give a
me,
commentary.
you know, verbally, you know, slapping whatever because you won't stop with your shit.
86.
So if I have to come out here and make it a clown of you, then that's what I'll do, Ronald. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, you're lying. And even in fact, they even made a video, one of them, where they ate there. He was like proving a point to me. I'm eating McDonald's.
You see what Smurf?
So you're the one that's going to die from it, not me. You're the one that's going to have clogged up arteries and not.
You don't need to show us you eat McDonald's. I could just look at you and
Yeah,
tell.
we know you eat McDonald's. Look at your eyes. The hell is that shit growing on your eyeballs or your eyelids? Who the hell looks like that? I mean, you look
Smurfy's
very unhealthy.
That's Mama June.
You know, but I get why his sister got mad. She got mad because I said something about their mom being incestuous with him. That's what I was told. I don't know if it's true or not. I mean, you know, I just thought he was talking about us, saying stuff about my wife that wasn't true. You know, which was there weren't even rumors. There was nothing basis. He just thought it up out of his mind. Him and the crazy roofer, the roofie guy.
Yep.
They come up with, they pull it out of their ass, literally, and then they shape it, the poo poo. They shape it into, you know, balloon animals. Turds.
He got mad because he talked about his UTI that he was scared was cancer. That's the only thing I can
Just
think
go wash yourself, dude. You don't have to have those. I mean, healthy people don't. I mean, you know, it's what happens when you're dirty. I'm not even trying to be funny or cute. I'm being damn serious. Washing, you know, I can't get a job. Maybe you wash and shave. You came in here and you talked all that good game like you talk on your channel, you know. I'm just this good old simple, sweet little country boy, you know. I mean, somebody will give you a job. Come in here and just be like, hey, oh, Mr. You know, shit talks a lot. You know, sir stirs a lot. Says here your hobbies include trolling and hating, riding on the cob dirty. Yeah. What and other types of ill shit. What is this? What is this that you're doing here? Sorry, what are you doing?
Other types of
He's like,
contagious.
hold on. I'm getting a call from Bigfoot. Yeah, what's up, Bigfoot? It's Aquaman. What's going on? Yeah, that's him right there.
Aquaman. No.
Whatever.
Wouldn't touch water.
He'll make his make believe self touches the keyboard. He'll make one for the Fall Guy and the Aquaman and whoever. He doesn't care. He's got Kool-Aid woman on there now. Grimace. She wore purple. I was like, whoa. That's a lot of woman. Very rotund. But they take a picture of me from a year and a half, 2 years ago, whatever. Hey, look at that. Look at Hayward's fat. I had gout going before that conference, and I couldn't work out.
She's mad because it called her a blobfish. And then Maddie called her a bitter blob.
Like that Kanye on South Park. Freaking gay fish. Why is everybody saying I'm a gay fish? Just because I said I like fish sticks.
Valerie.
So she's, you know, blobfish, angry, bitter blobfish. And Mike's over there like this. Bring a little some of that food for blobfish. You gotta have the glasses though. You can't do him without the glasses. You gotta have some glasses on because he's always got them glasses on, and he's always wearing a hat because he's got no hair up his fire tuck. So that's what Granny said. She said that I had a ghost that would touch my wee wee and touch my butt, but I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. And I was like, Granny, that was you doing that. You better stop. She's like, oh, that's your sister mom doing that. Oh, it wasn't me. Oh, okay. So you see, that's just how we roll. See, that's how we be. Who the hell can look at this man? Who the hell's gonna look at this guy and be like, that is a normal guy? They're watching him going, damn, I love this shit. This guy's amazing. Here's something else.
He's just like me.
He's crazy as hell. I love that guy. Here's an awesome dude. I'm gonna watch him. I'm gonna be that woman from the little Minions. What's it called? What's it called? The Minions.
Despicable Me.
Despicable Me. She looks like that little woman from the Minions. Remember, one of his people.
Yes.
She talks like this. I don't know what happened. Mike's such an honest guy. I can't believe it. Now he wants us to drink Kool-Aid and move to Ganya. What the hell did you think was going to happen? I mean, he hadn't brushed his teeth since 1983. I mean, what do you think is going to happen? He said, come on now, people. Drink the Kool-Aid, folks. Come on. We don't have all day, folks. They're like, well, actually, sir, we do have all day. You don't work. Yeah, but I got things to do. I got 1 million profiles on Facebook, people. I got to make 1 million and one. I'm living in the world of shit. Come on. This trolling ain't going to troll itself. And they're like, oh, man, that guy, he's awesome. Love that guy. He's incredible. Incredible guy. This other guy, Josh Turner, he's just smart and shit. And he thinks he knows stuff. Reads all them things, books. Fuck that. Throw that shit out the toilet in a book. I sat down the other day to read a book. Looked like I was on the toilet because I used the paper to wipe my ass. It was really stiff and it hurt and it cut me. But now I'm even madder at books. Tolstoy, whatever his name is, Toadstool, Peace and War. Your peace, boy. Damn Russian. All about war. My team. I ain't bagging people with AR-15s. I'm just saying.
Where did you from?
These people, though, they they read guns and ammo on the toilet, right? That's their porn. They're like, oh, look at that one. Oh, boy.
You know it's coloring
That's
book.
a python right there. Oh. Cole's making that now? Oh, my God. Look at that one. Oh, that's a red dot. Oh, yeah. Like the sights on this one here. Ooh. Then they're down. They're like, oh, I just look at the pictures. I can't read. Wipe. Flush. Well, I mean, come on. They're not reading Better Homes and Garden. I mean, obviously. They don't have a better home. And if they had a garden, they'd probably be full of pigs. Well, the pigs would eat the roaches or vice versa. They'd battle it out. Anyways, folks, Merry Christmas to you. We're going to see you again on Christmas Eve. It might be Christmas Eve, or we might just drop the hour-long episode on Christmas night. What do you guys think? If you guys want to show up for Christmas night, I'll be here on Christmas night.
What do the paratroopers think?
But if not, then no problem, dude. If you guys say, hey, man, I got things to do, I'll be with my family, then go do that. Mm-hmm.
I need to put there.
Oh, cool. Anna says she went to the Alamo, the Riverwalk, and the zoo. Oh, man, we did that.
Oh,
one year.
nice.
Remember
Yes.
that? 2019, we did that. It was great.
Merry Christmas to you too. Aw.
Sorry
That
for
was awesome.
running my mouth. I'm a horrible troll according to them. Although by the very definition of internet trolls, they are trolls, but very, very vicious trolls. So they're upset, and they're going to be upset. And I just gave them a reason to be. You want to keep, asking for the pans, you're going to get it.
We got a bunch of paratroopers that'll be here for Christmas.
Okay.
So cool. We'll see you then. Christmas Eve, right?
All right.
Is that what?
Anthony looks like Santa Claus before he goes out to ride his sleigh. Looks like he's wearing red long johns. He does. What?
Oh, like the pajamas?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You look like you're pre-Santa.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Henley.
Before you
Santa
still looks
before
like pajamas.
Santa when he rolls out of bed.
Yeah.
Brown
At least
Santa.
he gets out of bed before 4:00. His job. He's a job to do. You ever seen you saw the red one. Remember we watched it the other night?
Yeah.
The red one, folks. Go check that. That's a good one. That's a good movie. It was nice. The Rock and
Yeah, it was actually like
dude that played
I
Captain America.
I thought it was gonna be really campy and like
It was actually fun.
yeah, I thought it was gonna be like an obnoxious like a Marvel movie or something, but it was creative. I'm not gonna lie.
It was good.
I like
Santa Claus wasn't a little wimpy dude. He was like all working out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, it was cool, man. I liked it. I was like, that's awesome.
That was a good one.
Toey, thank you for that
Oh,
donation.
thank you so
That is
much.
the first and only $100 donation we've gotten all month
Thank you.
because we've been on the naughty list.
Yeah.
For real. We've been on some people's naughty list. They're like, he smokes weed and everything. I don't even smoke weed. And they say these ridiculous things, that we're doing all these bad things. Whatever.
Just go to PRT News on Facebook.
We go to PRT News. Go
Even
check it
on
out.
YouTube. Oh, Abe started a new channel.
What is it?
SCE News.
SEC News?
SCE News.
SCE News?
Yep.
Okay.
Abe CS. I was the first person in there. So he's got his
Hey,
news channel up.
Naughty list tier
Tier
4.
4. Yeah, you've seen it.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured somebody from the channel know what we're talking about. I'm definitely a tier 4. But that's from my past. I don't do that no more.
Yeah, he broke out of the globe.
That's what's funny is they talk
Mhm.
about my sins from my past. Like everybody's committed sins from your past. If you haven't, you're lying if you say you haven't.
Yep.
I don't make any bones about what I've done or said, And then they said, he said that he doesn't worship the same God. I don't. I never said I did. And I stand by what I said,
I mean, think of it logically.
I try to say, I said, think of it logically. And they're trying to use that like some kind of, this man is a heretic. You know what you sound like? You sound like those people from the witch hunts, dude. Like you're like, shut up. We're supposed to be on the same damn team, but you want to make it into some kind of antagonistic crap and then team up with the very evil.
No thanks. We don't want you back. Stay over there.
Yeah. And then they team up with the, what do you call them? The atheists. You're going to team up with the atheists, the dadaists, or whatever they call themselves. Go ahead.
Self-proclaimed warlocks, witches.
All on
And
the
then we'll
same
sit
team.
there and say, oh, you're a God-fearing Christian. What about not being unevenly yoked?
Witches, warlocks, and fundamentalists holding hands.
Uh-huh.
Together, you got a combined IQ of 2. And that may be being generous. But do what you got to do, man. Hit me with your best shot. Fire away. Because you're A. I said A. All right, A. All right. Okay, so we'll be back. We're going to try and lay it out, Tuesday? And if you guys are up for it, Thursday. We'll be here Christmas. We'll talk about it. But we got to get some recording done. We got some things we got to do. And what we're going to record tonight will probably be airing on the 31st. So we'll have another show that'll come out on New Year's Eve. All right. Okay. All right, folks. So thank you for tuning in. I had a great time. Thank you to people that submitted the stories. That's something I need to start doing, is thanking those people, because the other day, Phil, y'all don't know him. I call him Peer. That's his nickname, whatever. I'm not going to get into it. But he says, hey, you never thank me on the show for saying my story. And I said, well, you're an insurance agent, right? He said, yes. I said, how about all your customers know your name? I'm going to tell them, congratulations. He's like, wait. All right. Just thank me by my nickname. I said, okay. So there you go. Because his name is not Phil. He's from Philly. So, okay, Pierre, you got it. Thank you for giving me your story. It sucks that you're an Eagles fan and you have to live in that shithole called Philadelphia. All right. Thank you, folks. He was bad-mouthed Texas. He's never even been here. That's the thing, Philly. You've never been to Texas, man. And these people, they talk shit about us. Shit kicking, yeah, whatever. Look, man, it's the greatest country in the world, Texas. It's the greatest country ever. Right? I love it. I love my country. Right? Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody gets all mad. They're like, Texas thinks it's its own country. Because we were for like 12 years, 11 years, whatever.
As far as we're concerned, we still are.
Right. So I have decided to run for office for the country of Texia. All right? I'm a Texian.
Do it.
You can all go to hell. Now I'll go to Texas. Space. David Crockett. That's the guy that killed Jormungandr. True story. All right, guys. I'll see ya. This is like I did read. Get down. Shut the fuck up. Relax. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Take it out. Take it out.